All right, here we go. Marcellus Wiley, welcome back to VladTV.
Man, I almost didn't know where I was going, dog. It's been too long. Where the hell you been?
It's been too long. We ran into each other at the Clippers game.
Yes. I didn't know you were a Clipper fan.
That was definitely cool. Yeah, of course, man. I'm in L.A.
Okay.
You know, and that team is stacked, but unfortunately didn't win that night.
No, but we're going to win this year.
We're going to win this year.
And don't be hiding behind that L.A. shit. Like, if you're a Laker fan, just say it now. Don't be like, oh, yeah, I love L.A. Nah, Clippers, Clip City, Chip City.
There we go. We go. Well, we have a lot to talk about since it's been a long time since you've been here last time. But I think that, at the top of the news is OJ Simpson just passed away.
Yeah.
Did you know OJ at all?
I met OJ several times. One time, intimately, first time I heard of OJ, I was like 5, 6 years old. My daddy came in the house with a football that was orange, and it said OJ Simpson on it, the juice. And I love that football. And that was the first time I heard of him. Then obviously playing in Buffalo, you know about OJ. And obviously he went through what he went through, acquitted of, but still, court of public opinion really slammed him. I know a few of the lawyers personally that was on that trial, so I got a different understanding of it all.
Okay, well, let me interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
Because I've interviewed Alan Dershowitz, who was one of his lawyers as well. Mm-hmm. What did the lawyers tell you? And the lawyers you knew was Johnny Cochran, Shapiro. Nah. He had a big team of lawyers.
Yeah. So Sean Hawley is one of the lawyers. Carl Douglas, another one of the lawyers. What they told me, look, they lawyers. I ain't gonna say too much shit because what they told me. Look, no one. This is what I hate about our world right now. Whenever we hear allegations or we actually watch a trial, right? Nobody is getting detailed. Nobody's reading a 47-page allegation against someone, right?
Yeah.
They just read the headline, 2 paragraphs, and be like, all right, I know what's up. Or you watch it on TV, you give it 8 minutes, you're like, see? And so I never wanted to make that public opinion about the trial that I didn't watch every detail. I didn't read everything about it. Mm-hmm. I heard, look, in that situation, a lot of love turmoil was in the mix between the victims, OJ, and just not even being in that situation. If you got a baby mama or an ex, there's just a different dynamic set of rules that both have to play by or else shit can go wrong real fast. So there's all these other conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. But I got a chance to meet OJ. Let me just get to that.
Okay.
And we were in Miami. We were renting a boat. And as we were going towards the boat, OJ was coming towards us. And I'm like, damn, that's OJ. So I'm the only one football player. So I'm like, I'm going to speak again. I've seen him a couple of times, but he ain't going to know me. And I was like, hey, OJ, how you doing? And Marcellus, he was like, oh, yeah, you know, how you doing, bro? And I was with a bunch of girls and my boys, 2 boys and 5 girls. We going on the boat. And OJ was in the OJ mode, bro. He was macking. He was about to take not only my girls and the boat. And the girls, this was the funniest part. They were kind of wow, that's OJ. And then oh, that's OJ. So they didn't know how to play it. They double dutching. I'm like, dog, he ain't gonna hurt you right now. He ain't gonna kill your ass. So we ended up getting on the boat. And first thing they said was we were actually a little nervous. I was like, that's a damn shame. This is before the theft trial and all that. So it's a damn shame if you really get acquitted of something that you were still guilty in the minds of so many. So that was hilarious. And then they kept talking about how big his head was. And I thought, yeah, he got a big ass head. Rest in peace, OJ, man. I got respect. And I don't dance on graves, so I'm not going to talk bad about that man now.
Yeah, look, I interviewed Caitlyn, a house guest who went and had McDonald's with OJ right before the murders occurred.
Okay.
And then was at the house during the time, in the guest house at the time of the murders, and then saw OJ afterwards. According to him, he did it. When you look at the timetable, in fact, he said that after the police came, OJ was like, oh, yeah, I was with Kato the whole time. He'll tell you. And Kato was like, no, you weren't. He's like, I'm getting out of here. You're not using me as an alibi for a double murder.
There's a simple way you're like, yeah, OJ did that shit. And then you're like, you can build a case, which they did, that could say, yeah, did he? Did he not? And then that doubt right there is how he got off. Let's say that.
Yeah, I almost had an interview with OJ.
What happened?
So I DM'd him on Twitter. Yeah. He hit me back and said, hey, talk to this guy. Because as you know, now that everything's coming out, OJ had a lot of cash businesses because he wasn't trying to pay the Brown
Oh, yeah.
The Brown family and the Goldman
Settlement and
family,
stuff. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So there's
yeah.
a lot of cash businesses he had where like he would charge people to play golf with him. He would sign autographs for cash. He would do all types of stuff, but it was always cash.
You rigging that system?
Yep,
I hear you.
yep. I was going to be one of these cash businesses.
Yeah, yeah.
So he put me in touch with this guy. We got on the phone, and it was like, look, he's down to do the interview. It was going to be for $100,000.
Shit.
It's gonna be
What year is this?
This was maybe about a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
And the understanding was you can't get too deep into the murder trial. He doesn't want to talk about the blood evidence and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh, but he will talk about the whole Vegas theft situation. Yeah. He'll talk about his football career. He'll talk about whatever drama, whatever else, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'll go into it with the stance that he was found not guilty.
Okay.
So we'll touch on it, but we won't go deep into that part.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're all in agreement. Okay, so we want $100,000. Cool.
You gonna give it to him?
Well, here's the story, right?
Oh, shit, I'm about to say, I'm here for free. Fuck. Do I need to kill him, motherfucker, to get $100K out your ass?
He was like,
oh, man.
We're gonna need it in cash.
All
so
ones.
I checked, my CFO, and she was like, okay, if they fill out a W-9 and they do an invoice, put in their social security, we could do a cash transfer. Yeah. Okay, cool. We could do cash. Okay, we're going to need the whole amount before he walks in the door. I said, hell no.
Why? Because you don't think the interview going to be good?
What
if OJ show up, that's 100, no?
What if he walks out after 10 minutes? What can I do about it?
You can't do anything about it.
Can't do anything about it. I'll have my security, but he'll have his security. Yeah, I'm not going to shoot him over an interview. So, like, what am I supposed to do? If he walks out, I can't stop him.
Hold on, but some of the most epic viral interviews have been those short ones. Put some respect on my name.
Can't make
7 seconds.
You can't make 100,000 off of 10 minutes. Let me tell you. You just can't. So, and I'm like, look, I'll give you half up front, half until, when we're done. No. I'll give you 75 up front, 25 at the end. There has to be some sort of reason for him to stay. No.
I'm with him still, because you over here grading my fucking interview when I'm like, dog, just give me my money for showing up and doing the interview and trusting me because I'm OJ. Like any appearance, you don't say, okay, well, after you're doing it, you get your money before you get it.
No. We're talking about OJ, who owes over $100 million to the Goldman family, to his own kids, because the kids were, sued on behalf of the family and everything else like that, who's been ducking payments for decades. I wasn't going to be the last person in line that gets juked by OJ. No, I wasn't going to do it. I was not going to do it.
Okay, smart guy. So smart, you ain't get the damn interview. Yeah,
I didn't get the interview.
Yeah, smart.
I didn't get the interview. But listen, I remember I paid what's his name, DMX, like $15,000 for an interview, and he insisted. His manager insisted he needs the whole amount up front. We grudgingly agreed to it, and then he died.
Damn.
And there was a long list of people that he owed money to, so we just
find out this list of almost Vlad interviews.
There's a lot of almost Vlad.
Sound like better than the ones you're getting.
I know, right?
Let me stop.
But no, I didn't do it. I mean, listen, would he have done it? Probably, but as the CEO of a company, you have to do the right thing for the company and the employees.
Yeah, but you also take risks. Yeah, you got to take intelligent risks, and maybe that wasn't the smartest. I hear you.
Listen, if he didn't want to take, he wasn't even down for 75 up front and 25 in the back.
Yeah, that's when he on some fuckery.
Right, so he's like, if you ask too many questions about the trial, he's going to walk out. And I'm like, how do I know what that is?
Yeah, that part.
But I mean, listen, I'm also a little annoyed because this would have been his only life story interview before he passed. He's never done one.
But for $100,000, would you like to remove all of those questions and doubt and know what it would have been? You would have paid $100,000 for that because your ass still talking about it.
I would have paid $100,000 if he would have sat down and did the whole interview as planned. But
peace of mind, I'll pay $100K for peace of mind. And OJ on film?
Yeah.
You could have got anything.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, he owes what I believe is $70 million.
He don't owe anything. He gone.
Well, right. But to the Brown and Goldman family, he's only paid $132,000 off of that. And his lawyer, because I guess his longtime lawyer, Malcolm Laverne, announced, he said, it's my hope that the Goldmans get nothing. Them specifically. And I will do everything in my capacity as executor or personal representative to try to ensure they will get nothing. So according to OJ, he wants the Goldmans to not get a penny.
Well, look, there is a lane where you got to respect that. And that lane is OJ didn't do it and was acquitted.
Right, but he lost the civil trial.
I know, but we all know that the barriers in terms of what you got to prove and is different than criminal cases.
Right,
so
it's 51%.
Lower threshold.
Yeah, in a civil trial, it's 51%. In a criminal case, it's beyond a reasonable doubt, which is 95%.
And so imagine OJ didn't do it. Imagine, please listen to the word imagine, y'all. Imagine he didn't do it, and then they go somewhere else with a lower threshold and burden of proof, and then they say he did it.
Yes.
If you're that person, you're sitting there like, man, I don't want to give them jack. That's the only way you could justify it. I hear that side.
Yeah, listen, do you want to cough up all the remaining money you have as an older person and still try to live? Of course you don't. I think most people would do what OJ pulled off. From what I understand, I think he owes like $5 million to like the state of California over various tax liens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Listen, OJ got away from paying that money. Not only did he get away from the murder charges, but he also got away from paying tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Now, don't have me up here being an OJ defender. I am a defender of truth. I'm a defender of what really happens in terms of the ruling. I live by that, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people go like, because first of all, who's been sued? Raise your hand. All right.
Yeah.
How many times you been sued and you're like, I ain't do shit. This motherfucker.
I've been sued and I had to pay up. Yeah.
Right. My first time I got sued, a gardener lied and said in Buffalo that he put in weatherproof plants or some shit. It started snowing, everything died. I was like, dog, you mustn't do it the right way. And dude sued me for putting in the wrong shit. So I got worse stories than that. But the point is, whatever happens, dog, I usually live by that and I don't lose too much sleep over it.
Listen, he was found not guilty.
Yeah.
And since there was no deathbed confession that we know of,
right.
It's just is going to be a debate for the rest of time.
Yeah, and everybody debating. None of them motherfuckers watched the trial fully. None of them read all the transcripts. So I'm not even. I got time at the barbershop. When y'all do the OJ thing, I'll be like, all right, that's why I'm bald, dog. Let me get up out of here.
Well, I mean, this is why I mentioned Cato, because Cato was a witness in the trial.
Yeah.
In fact, they tried to paint him. Well, the prosecution actually made him a hostile witness, which he said he doesn't understand why, because he was not actually on anyone's side. He was just there to tell what he saw. Because remember, he was really cool with Nicole. He had lived with her and was taking care of her kids. The dog was actually named. He got named after the dog.
Vlad, you know you're schooling me right now.
That's right. No, that's right. It is what it is.
I was like, did he do it or not?
Well, one person that did celebrate his death was Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't see. I heard about it.
You heard about it?
Yeah, give it to me.
What's your take on that? People celebrating OJ's death like that?
Yeah,
obviously, Caitlyn is close to Kris Jenner, who was close to Nicole, so there's a family connection there. They even say that Chloe might have been OJ's kid, but he always denied it.
Okay, give me this. What is she? He. What are we saying? All right, well, both of them got he in it. So one, she or he. You got the tweet? Or are we just talking in general? Because in general, I don't dance on graves, and I hate people who do it.
Right. The tweet is good riddance. Hashtag OJ Simpson.
That's a damn shame.
Good riddance.
I'm trying to put myself in a position to defend that tweet, which is some bullshit. Because that's not the spirit that we should all live by. And if you still here and somebody did what they did, if I believe someone murdered someone in my family, and that's happened to my uncles and stuff, you know, growing up, some of the street life stuff, but I don't wish ill. I wish justice. I wish it didn't happen. But to go now, it's almost sensational. It's almost like, oh, I want everyone to know that I hated them so much when they're gone, that good that they're gone. Did you really want them gone? Or do you want your people back? So it's almost like a deflection, and it gives you more personal attention and grandstanding than actually doing anything. You didn't kill OJ after they killed your people? Shut the fuck up. If you had your shit, like, and now, good riddance. Like, that's just cool. I ain't built like that. Like, I'm not gonna go kill you if you do kill mine. Maybe in the moment, I'm talking different. I'm not rational. But only thing that hurts is the loss. You ain't getting it back, so why you talking that shit? Why you talking crazy?
Yeah, I mean, you talking made me think of an actual fist fight between Caitlyn Jenner and OJ.
OJ winning that. I don't know though. Bruce still. This is Bruce, right?
This is still an Olympic athlete.
Yeah. Well,
Wheaties box, multiple gold medals.
You gotta. Sometimes they suppress all the hormones and stuff, and they say they do something, but it's still an engine in that.
I can see him taking his earrings off. Put some Vaseline on his face, like taking off his high heels. Like, oh, we doing this.
Oh yeah, take this costume off. Let's go back to the real. Now OJ had that walk. He had that I used to play ball walk. And I got a little of it too, so I know. Right. OJ getting whooped.
Yeah, he can also headbutt Caitlyn.
Oh, I know.
There's that. Well, but something, people start pointing out that Caitlyn actually did kill someone herself. Remember the car accident?
Oh,
right. And Caitlyn actually responded. He said, I know you all think it's cute to compare a fatal car accident with multiple vehicles involved to a brutal murder. But remember, OJ said something to the effect of, I could kill Nicole and get away with it because I'm OJ Simpson. I've never actually heard that quote.
I'm about to say, where the evidence?
I've never heard that.
Rabbit hole ass conversation she's trying to have. The craziest part is, ye judge, ye shall be judged, biblical stuff. When you put yourself out there, just know whatever you put out there is coming back at you, right? That's what that means. It means, you want to play that game? Well, that game gonna play you too. So you putting that tweet together, good riddance. Everybody gonna love me because everybody hated OJ and he a killer. Bow. And then they say, back at you.
You're a killer.
Yeah. And the results are the same. Intentions different.
Yeah.
If they both occur. Like, you kill somebody, if OJ killed them. That's why I don't play them dumb games, man. Good riddance. That's cornbread.
Well, speaking of transgenders, you and Jamel Hill were kind of going back and forth over the whole transgender thing.
Yeah. I responded to what she said back in the days. Yeah. So I guess you call that back and forth.
Okay.
But I still continue to talk about it for sure.
Well, explain to me what the debate was over.
I don't know what Jamel said. All I know is what I'm saying, which is respect to transgenders and whatever you want to do, Caitlyn Jenner, et cetera. When it's time to play sports, stop playing. Transgenders that transition into women, you can't play sports. Now, we don't have this conversation with them transitioning to men because it's obvious they get their ass whooped, right? So, and it's a very few of them. It's not like it's millions of them. But the point is, one is too many. I have 4 kids, 3 daughters, and I got an 8-year-old son sandwiched in between my 3 daughters. I know me. I know how it feels before my sister whooping my ass growing up. Then I hit puberty, then our voice changed. That testosterone kicked in. And my sister used to put hands on me. And I remember turning 14, and my sister put them hands on me again, dodge, had her pinned up against the wall. She couldn't move. Life was different. I played at the highest level. And I could go with the jokes. Look, right now, if there was a women's football league, and I think there actually is, but if they were like out there, premium platform, I can go tomorrow. Not only play, start. Give me a month, I'm all pro. Give me 6 months, I am a Hall of Famer. I say all this because we need to stop playing. Like, our world is just so weird now. We can't define what it is. A man's a man, a woman's a woman. You want to transition, do it. But sports, you don't have rights in sports. You have privileges. When you're 8 and you sign up, the first thing they do? They say, how old are you? 8. All right, here's the 8-year-olds. Where's the 9-year-olds? In a different line. After that, they say, okay, 8-year-olds, how much do you weigh? You weigh this, okay. So we already discriminated based on sex, discriminated based on weight. Then we got 100 kids signed up. All y'all ain't making this team. We're going to discriminate based on talent. And look, it's because it's about privileges. You got to earn your way. You got to get into these roles. And one role that they never had was that you could play, especially combat sports, against the girls because it's just a different animal. When you're young and it's a non-contact, yeah, but soon as puberty hits, it's a wrap, man. So I'm adamant about it because it robs women of their records, of their rights, of their opportunities, I should say privileges. And it's just wrong. Like, it's just like, dog, make another category. Transgender male, transgender female, male, female.
Well, yeah, I mean, Caitlyn Jenner actually agrees with you.
I know. I've heard.
She basically said it's just common sense. And this is a former, Olympic gold medalist who knows better than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Knows about the same as you as being a former professional athlete.
Yeah.
Everyone who's chiming in is usually just, sideline quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you have actual real professional athletes saying that this is nonsense.
Yeah.
And people are saying, oh, you guys are transphobic.
Oh, look, you know what's so funny about that? Because they say that, right? So I'm saying, okay. So when you're talking about sports, transgender, and then we're talking about biological.
Mm-hmm.
So when boys, like the way it used to be, boys didn't compete against girls, right? Was there any hate for the boys against the girls? No, we just didn't compete. Was there any hate from the girls against the boys? No, we just didn't compete. It was just the way it was. But now, if you say, I don't want you two to compete, there's hate one way. That lets you know it's illogical in terms of what his premise is. Here's another thing. If you look at, here's how you make it objective. The fastest woman ever was FloJo. Ever. Like billions and billions of women in this world. She is the fastest woman that has ever existed. And she ran a 10.49. The fastest man ever exists, Usain Bolt, ran a 9.58. That's almost a second in the 100. That means literally Usain Bolt will finish and you could go like this. Hey man, who else is in the race? Oh, that's the fast. That's forever.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. High school boys that are good to great run faster than the fastest woman who has ever existed.
Oh, okay.
I have no hate in me. But if you're trying to objectively look at something, you mean to tell me I could go find me. Right now, it just happened. Long Beach Poly freshman set a record 10.44.
Faster than FloJo.
He a ninth grader. Come on, y'all. Stop playing,
you come with the receipts. These are the actual receipts. I love it. I love it.
It's silly. Everybody else is just commenting on stupidity, dog.
Well, yeah, remember there was the girls' field hockey player who got her teeth knocked out by a transgender player. And people were just really upset. Like literally multiple teeth were knocked out playing against a transgender.
Yeah.
Man who was transitioning into a woman. Men have, stronger bones.
Bone density's different, lung capacity.
Like, I wouldn't want a little girl playing against a boy in a contact sport of some sort. But that's what's happening.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Because when you're growing up, and me, I'm a strong little kid, and they're telling me, one, I got to be nicer to my friends who are my same age because you're so strong, so big growing up, right? But then they tell me, women, girls, off limits. You can't hit a girl, right? In domestic violence, you see the situation. Oh, you hit her? It's a whole different.
Yeah, doesn't matter how many times she punched you in the face before, yeah.
Yeah, Dana White, all that stuff. She hit you first. Ray Rice, she spit on him, hit him first. Don't you respond. Yeah. Okay.
It's true.
That's fine. Let's just take it all the way. So when we get into these contact sports, what are we doing? You're going to let someone who used to be a man respond to a woman? That's when you lose me.
Yeah, man. It's one of those things where it doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Or for example, you see these situations where transgender women get put in women's prison. They end up impregnating a bunch of the women. And it's they had to shut down one of the prisons over that. It gets wild.
Out there hunting.
It gets wild. I remember there was this one.
That's crazy.
I guess they passed a law in Canada where you can't bar genders from competing in certain sports.
Yeah.
So a male powerlifter decided to enter a female powerlifting competition and won every single world record just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Just to prove a point.
This is not a social conversation. I'm not talking about walking down the street, what are my human rights? I'm talking about as soon as you sign up to play a sport, shit changes. That's why age matters, weight matters, sex matters. In the NFL, they look at you and literally they judge you based on how fast you are. We're going to discriminate. All sports discriminate. And it's supposed to happen.
Right.
You're not good enough to be in the next race, which is called the semifinals. All y'all can show up. After that, get your slow asses up in the stands and eat. Rest of y'all keep running. Oh, then you get out of here, and we got one race left. And then only 3 slots on the podium. The rest of y'all sit there in the grass and just admire. That's life. And now we're trying to warp that. We're trying to blur that because of sensitivity in someone else's feelings. Facts over feelings.
Yeah, I remember I was kind of like thinking of a joke, like, what if like Michael Jordan felt bad about beating all those teams and decided to just send out his rings to all the losing teams so they can wear it for a week and feel like a winner.
Yeah.
Strike all those wins from the records so no one could feel bad about losing in the finals. Like, nah, it's competitive.
Yeah.
Do this shit.
It's competition.
It's competition.
And they try to rob competition from schools, of kids. Oh, we're playing right now and we're not keeping score. I swear, every game, when I've heard that, I'm like, not on my team. We keeping score. If we gonna put 100 up on you, we are. If you gonna put 100 up on us, you are. But that's what you teach these kids, because life's a competition. And if you don't tell them that early, then they're gonna get hit in the face in the real world. Talking about, oh, I didn't know someone in Idaho was gonna meet me in the lobby of Paramount trying to take the same job I want. No matter what you thinking, you competing against somebody else to go get it. And then when that happens, oh shit, it's a wake-up call if you ain't already been conditioned for that competition.
Yeah, like if you think about the history of professional sports in America, there's never been a female athlete that's been able to compete in a male sport.
No.
Like, for example, Caitlyn Clark is great.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying she's, joining the WNBA now.
Mm-hmm.
But could she compete in the NBA?
No, not at all. Not even close. Matter of fact, I have talked to WNBA legends. I don't want to say their name because they didn't give me permission. I mean, two of the Mount Rushmore, I would say.
Lisa Leslie must be one of them, but okay.
You said that.
I said that, yeah.
And then it's like, I was like, could you compete? Hell no. It wasn't even like a hold of breath and let me ponder. Hell no. Matter of fact, they were like, dog, my brother / or my husband, he a problem. And he ain't even in the NBA. So, we go to Clipper games, you see the dude who plays, who's number 11 on the bench. Like, yo, he nice. You imagine putting a woman against that? It's just I can't have kids. It's okay, dog. Women can do certain things, men can do certain things. Why blur the lines?
Well, talking about competition, we're in the middle of the biggest rap beef of the last 20 years.
I mean, that sounds vague for, I don't know what you mean. You mean since Pac and Biggie, you're like, what else? What's after that? Between now and then?
There was a lot. I mean,
Give me some. Oh, Jay-Z Nas?
Jay-Z Nas.
Okay, but that was quick, but it was real.
No, but it dragged on for a good year.
Oh,
I mean,
it was epic.
It was epic, yeah, and all the Game Genius stuff happened. And there's a lot of stuff that happened. But right now, we're seeing the biggest names. Yeah. Now, there was a situation with you a while ago where either Drake or Kendrick went on your show and let the other person have it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to pry this information out of you for years.
I can tell you now, shit.
You can tell me now?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. VladTV exclusive.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Let me preface it by saying I wish I had the words in detail. Like, I wish I had the transcript, memorized.
Okay.
I wish I had the recall for the words that Drake said.
So it was Drake?
Oh, yeah, it was Drake.
Okay, so Drake came on your show.
So Drake came on our show, Sports Nation.
What year was this?
Don't quote me. 2011, 12. All I know is this. Drake is doing our show, Max and myself, Max Kellerman and myself, Sports Nation, big hip-hop fans, both of us, because we're hip-hop fans, / he's hosting the ESPYs that year. Now, we always did our show live. Always. Studio audience, all this stuff. That day, I don't know why, we had to tape it. So it's like 11:30. Our show aired at 1:30 or something, 2 hours before the show. And so we taping the interview with Drake. We get there early. We do it. Now, Max and I, so hip-hop, we just go in there. We not got the standard questions. He's like, damn, okay. And it turned into him going at Kendrick Lamar. And really going at Kendrick Lamar, saying, man, come on, man. I'm me and he's him. And he just sunning him. And Max and I, while we doing an interview, we see full shot of Drake. We hitting each other elbow like, this motherfucker going in. We like, And he just kept talking trash about Kendrick. I don't know what he was saying, because I got hit in the head a few times. And
do you remember any of the details?
Kendrick's not as good as him. They got the video somewhere, so I wish they just let the shit go, because it's out there, but they probably burned them like the Spygate tapes or some shit like. But it's out there. He was saying basically him, Kendrick here, stop comparing me to the guy. So he's hosting the ESPYs and he's flexing. Interview over, 10, 15 minutes, I don't know. Max and I are sitting there like, our lives about to change in 2 hours, because, I mean, for hip-hop kids to be in the middle of a beef that they ain't a part of, like, I was like, yo, we got the exclusive. It's going down. 12 o'clock comes. You can see everybody moving different in the studio, whatever. 12:15, producers call us up. That interview you guys did with Drake, was anything bad, wrong? What was that about? And I was like, he went in on his rival. He went in on Kendrick. And I'm from Compton, so I'm like, he went on my guy, right? So I'm laughing. 12:30, 12:45, another meeting. Yeah, Drake's people called and said, we shouldn't air that. Are you guys sure everything was fine? I was like, everything's good. Actually, it's great. He went in on somebody that's going to give us huge boost ratings, people going to watch, etc. 1 o'clock, they was like, we're not airing the interview. And I was like, what? So we talked to him, and we like, can we talk to who you're talking to? And they were like, yeah, but I don't think they're going to be convinced. And then whoever we talked to upstairs above our producers, this was a combo. Drake just called again. He said, if we air that interview, he's not hosting the ESPYs.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
You gotta count me out. That shit gone.
He pulled out the sledgehammer.
That's what his people said.
The
now,
sledgehammer.
Drake wasn't directly on the phone, they say, and all that, but the point is, it was communicated. Y'all do that shit? This shit out. Now, why would you go through those steps? Because I think he had a wake-up call. I think he did the interview, and you know how it goes. Your people are right there watching. And they're like, and at the end of it, they were like, dog, you don't want that. You don't want that energy out there. You don't want that smoke. Whatever it is, that ain't you, or we don't need to do that. So they went through all those steps. And at the end, I was sitting there like, we had to do a normal-ass show. Like, the whole show sucked. Like, we just doing this show. Like, we ain't got no Drake interview. We were supposed to have it. We might have even teased it. It was just whack. So I've always looked at him different in that respect. Not even like he whack or weak. It's just like, damn, he playing the politics like that. Because now we here, and he's shooting at everybody. I knew he had it in him because he did it that day.
Okay, well, this whole beef started on the Future Metro Boomin song Like That, where Kendrick comes in, and what's great about this song is that it's
samples. Talking out they neck. That's one of the hardest songs ever.
Yeah.
Anybody dissing Kendrick verse, come see me. That shit insane.
Well, me and you being Cali kids, it was great. And us being around the same age, we remember when Rodney and Joe Cooley, Everlasting Bass came out.
Just saw him perform it 2 months ago at what? 50 K-Day 50th.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Insane.
Metro Boomin didn't have to do too much production on that. He pretty much pressed the record button.
Yeah. And like, all these kids too young to remember this.
Yeah, no one's going to know. They're going to think I'm the shit with this production. It's the exact same beat, which is cool. Which is, plus they put the Eazy-E intro. He was once a thug around. It was a very West Coast record.
Blended classic.
So I could see why Kendrick would want to jump on it.
They talking out they neck.
Yeah. And he said, fuck the big three. It's just big me.
Boom. That shit is so hard. I don't understand. And so where are we going from this, Vlad? Where are you about to take it?
Well, this comes out, and everyone's like, ooh. So then J. Cole drops his record.
Yeah.
Which was very mid, by the way.
It was mid to you?
It was mid.
Okay, tell me why.
Basically criticizing that, Kendrick only has one classic album and he's fallen off and whatever else. Kendrick hasn't fallen off.
No.
Like, a lot of those disses I thought were very soft show. I remember I actually even did a Math Hoffa show, and we talked about how, at that point, Kendrick won, J. Cole 0.
Okay.
Nobody saw the J. Cole diss as a strong comeback to Kendrick.
I wouldn't say that. To me, he didn't have the energy of Kendrick. First of all, Kendrick, you hear nothing, and then the first thing, nigga talking out they neck. Like, you're like, whoa, he on some other shit. Bop, bop. Like, he just coming like, he got more into it than J. Cole. But J. Cole said some things like, yo, 4 albums in 12 years. I could divide, bringing Jay-Z
he used the
back.
takeover. He took the takeover Jay-Z line.
I mean, mid is rough. Mid is tough, but
how would you rate it 1 to 10? The J. Cole response record.
8, 7, 8. Probably 7.5, but like 8. I could give it around there. You know you were out the same place too, right? Around
That was
8.
about a 6.
6?
6
okay,
or a 5.
That's mid as fuck.
Yeah, that's mid.
Yeah,
right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Yours is a little bit more towards the high end. But listen, I'm a J. Cole fan. So I'm like, all right, this might be the first round. Let's see what else comes after it. Because there were some other parts on it, like on Pie. He seemed like he was kind of talking about Kendrick a little bit. And
Yeah.
kind of took a shot at his transgender auntie and stuff like that. That's what
Did
they
he?
say. And he was also on a record with Ab Soul, who was TDE. Who is TDE, and Daylight, who was affiliated with TDE. So it was like, oh, I got your homies on the record, dissing you with your homies on the record. Like, it was like, okay, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But then, a couple of days later, J. Cole gets on stage and apologizes. I was stunned. From a hip-hop perspective,
Yeah.
I was absolutely stunned.
In a good way?
No.
I can tell.
No.
What's the problem with apologizing? Let's go.
I went off. I was on Twitter tearing it up. I said, this is the worst rap battle of all time. J. Cole apologized to Kendrick faster than Diddy paid Cassie.
Oh, you a hypocrite, Vlad. I'm going to call you out.
J. Cole announced he's changing his name to J. Fold. He'll start using the name Fold World on all his future songs. He's going to change his next album title to The Envelope.
This dude.
But this is what I said. This is the one that actually went viral. And everyone started kind of chime in on this. I said, for everyone thinking that J. Cole apologized to Kendrick is no big deal, think about this. Think about if Nas apologized to Jay-Z after Ether. What if Tupac apologized to Biggie after Hit 'Em Up? What if Drake apologized to Meek Mill after Back to Back? What if Ice Cube apologized to NWA for dropping No Vaseline? I'm all for growth and maturity, but this is hip-hop, which was birthed in competition. J. Cole has been talking his shit and saying he's the best rapper and he's better than everyone else and no one can compete with him and he'll crush all competitors for a decade. When push came to shove, he folded.
Yeah, all that.
That's what I'm saying.
All that sounds good and all that shit wrong. literally everything you wrote was completely wrong. Literally, almost.
Okay, let's go.
Except Drake, Meek Mill.
Okay.
And I don't know where their status is right now. You got to hit me to it. But
Well, Drake and Meek Mill are cool now.
they're cool. All right, so that whole shit was wrong. You should burn the computer, burn your Twitter account. Let me tell you what. Actions speak louder than words. Every single one of those people, except Biggie and Pac, pretty much, because of death, apologized to each other.
Way later.
Way later. Hold on. So now we get into some time conversation, which means you mature to the place where you're like, yo, the beef is over, but we went through it. So you mad at J. Cole for being mature enough to get to that place faster than everybody else.
Listen. When Magic and Bird were on the court together and there was one winner, that was the winner. Later on, they could be friends and they could hug it out. But I'm saying on the court, this is the middle of the game right now.
Is it the same
It's in the middle of the game.
This is the same Magic before the game. Used to hug Isaiah, give him a kiss, bro hug, love, go out there, go at it, and then after, what you doing later? Like, y'all.
What if during the game he said, you know something, I'm sorry for scoring all these points on you?
Hold on, this game is over. The game was over.
The game's
not
over.
They both shot. They both went, and then he was like, that's it. I shouldn't have even done that. You know why? And now you the hypocrite. Here's the thing, Vlad. Okay, what did you tell me? I don't know if we were on camera yet. What do we hate about this world right now is when we let social media gas us up.
Okay.
You hate that. I hate that. I hate when I know you, and you my boy, and then publicly we doing our thing, and then because the public divides and picks one side or the other, it gasses me up to come at you. Like, hold on. And then Cole and Kendrick is this. Dog, we know each other forever. We were building together. You produced some of my first songs, etc. We rapped, we battled, we boys.
They never battled.
Yes, they did.
They battled just now. Yeah, just now. Okay, I thought you meant before. And there was supposed to be a joint album between Kendrick and J. Cole, but that never came out.
Never came out. So here's the thing. All right, so, let me rewind everybody, because they're like, what the fuck, Wiley? All this music stuff. I got to tell you my music story, how I pioneered music in the NFL. But I'll give you this. I used to DJ for real. Still do, but I mean for real. Outkast, Run DMC, Kanye, everybody. All the festivals, all the Super Bowl events, etc. So hip-hop for me is like, blood.
Yeah, and I'm a DJ as well.
You see what
I
I'm
came
saying?
from the DJ world
so
as well.
Yo ass need to respect that they did something epic right here. They didn't follow through on getting gassed up because I went to
not they, J. Cole. You can't say they.
I can't say they.
J. Cole.
Because didn't somebody say that Kendrick actually hit him and said, I'm not really talking about you, I'm talking about Drake. You're just taking collateral damage.
I haven't heard that.
I saw that. I don't know if it's real or not.
I haven't heard that.
But the point is this, Vlad. Respect to J. Cole for apologizing, what they all do now, instead of waiting till it get crazy, weird, or faker, then. I like that. And two, the second point is this. When you apologize when you're wrong. You apologize when you hurt someone, they say. And this is the deepest level. And J. Cole already there. We need to grow up, Vlad. You apologize when you hurt yourself. And that ain't who he is. He like, I'm dissing somebody who literally I respect as much as I respect my career. But I got to fake it and flex so I can get some clicks or to appease you fools. And I'm glad he did it this way. But he got one off, too. Don't do that to him. He got one off.
Well, he ended up taking the whole record down now. It was just announced that it's off all streaming services. It's removed.
Mm-hmm. You mad at that for real?
I'm not mad at it. My whole thing is this. You can't be the big bully and talk your shit and talk down on people and say that you'll kill everyone, saying that I don't have features on my album because no one can compete with me. If I ever beef, it'll be for real. And I'll bet, like, literally every album is him dissing other rappers. He dissed white rappers on Fire Squad. He dissed Iggy Azalea. Yeah. Like he's been dissing people and saying he's the best. And me and Russell Simmons went back and forth on this. This is Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
This is someone that'll accomplish more in hip hop than you and I and everyone we know combined.
Yeah, that part.
This is Russell Simmons. And he was like, yo, this is good. You know, this offers growth. And I'm like, J. Cole's not PM Dawn. I said it just like that. I said, J. Cole is not PM Dawn. He has been dissing people and talking his shit for a decade. And when it was time to actually perform all the stuff that he's been leading up to, he folds after a couple of days. Okay. And that to me, I think it affects his legacy because every time he talks tough about being the best rapper from now on, I just go,
But hold on.
I'm not buying it anymore. I'm not buying it anymore.
You can
he got to be that soft, sensitive rapper now because that's what he's put himself into.
But you can be the best rapper without competing and beefing with somebody.
That's cool, but he's been doing it for 10 years.
Yes. And so, hold on.
For 10 years, he's been saying this.
Has he beefed with anybody before this one?
Lil Pump?
Come on. Somebody else, like in this same stratosphere. No. And he's still considered by some as the best. No one's ever
called him out on this level before.
I just think he picked the lane of like, let me get to the top without beefing against you. Like in the NFL, like I want to win the championship. I don't need to go through the rivalries shit. I don't need to be like, I hate you. Like I just love killing y'all. And I think he's just going to get into the lane of I love killing this game instead of I hate you. Especially somebody he knows is as good as him, if not better, and doing it the same way with the same real pure energy. Go after a fraud. Go after Lil Pump. And I actually love Lil Pump, but it's crazy. But that ain't the same stuff, right? So I'm saluting them. Everybody else could be on the other side. I salute that.
That's cool. And you and I could disagree. Yeah, at the end of the day, you've played on teams against players that I'm sure you've had the utmost respect for. Mm-hmm. But when you're on that field, you got to kill them. And you got to win. Yeah. You can't give them a few extra yards because you respect their legacy.
Oh, but that's not analogous. Every time J. Cole is rapping, he gonna do his best. Do I have to target you? When I played against you, I wanted to destroy you.
Yes.
I didn't want to do anything unnecessary. That's why they got unnecessary roughness. In hip hop, we call that just beefing. That's just the basis of it. We gonna go at it. But beefing is more than just a normal game. It's like extra into it. That's why their beefs get so much attention. You know you doing more. The whistle blew, you still going at it. Rick Ross on Drake right now. Whistle blew. Drake and Rick Ross are still going at it. To me, that's the analogy. Not that they're not playing as hard as they can. They directing it at each other now.
Well, Drake dropped his response record.
Yeah, I heard it.
And I got to say, that was a tough record.
That was good.
That was a tough record. He went at everyone. He dissected everybody. Nobody got a pass.
Give me your lines. What lines you thought stood out? You got any?
There was a lot. Metro Boomin gonna make some fucking drums or something. Like he went at it. Drop and give me 50.
Yeah.
Hold on.
He had the Uzi out. He had the Uzi out.
Nah, he went in.
Yeah, that was dope.
He went absolutely in.
That was dope.
And I mean, to me, fuck the big two. You know, you gotta take J. Cole out that big 3 line now. That's what I think.
You are crazy. You cannot, you know what it is? You can't take away his game because you don't like his style of play. It's almost like how
when you quit, that is not a style of play.
He didn't quit. He got
quit.
Hold on. Has Kendrick done 2?
Nope.
Okay, so it's 1-1.
We're waiting. It's not over yet. Kendrick did apologize and said, I'm done.
Now you making up stuff because you want what you want. Kendrick shot. He shot. Shots fired. Now ceasefire. What is wrong with that? I don't understand. You got to, somebody's going to be one more ahead of somebody. They're never going to, it's never been a beef where 1-1. It's always 1-1. All right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of standout lines, I think Drake said, Maroon 5 need a verse. You better make it witty. Then we need a verse for the Swifties. And I remember, I mean, that's a good point, because I remember when Kendrick did the song with Taylor Swift, I really was like, huh?
You don't
I'm
like
that's kind of whack.
You didn't like that?
No.
Why? Because it was Taylor Swift or the song?
I just didn't like the song.
Okay.
I thought Kendrick sounded awkward on that record.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a good collab. Not to say that there hasn't been good hip-hop collabs, because there definitely has been.
Yeah. But
that just wasn't one of them.
Right. But J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick, rank them. It ain't that hard, Vlad. What you got?
I would say
protect the relationships.
No. I mean, because I've met all of them, but I don't know any of them like that. Okay. So I don't have any personal
I'm talking about
ties.
strictly you going on the island, you get their catalogs.
I'll put it like this.
Come on.
I'll put it like this, and I've said this before. If all 3 of them dropped on the same day, I would first listen to Kendrick.
Yeah.
Then Drake.
Yep.
Then J. Cole.
Okay.
That would be my order.
To me, Drake.
And I'm fans of all 3.
Drake's the greatest of those 3. I don't think he's the best, and that's the challenge. Yeah. I think Kendrick's better.
He's more artistic.
Yeah. Like Kendrick's last album, for those who don't like it, you telling on yourself. You ain't smart enough. You ain't deep enough. You ain't went inside yourself. You hadn't figured that shit out. That shit is insane what he was saying. And it wasn't corny. He ain't compromised like the entertainment value to educate. But I would say Drake, take me on the island. I got to have Drake. It's just too much. His catalog's just too extensive. He just does too much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very good argument for that.
Yeah, and J. Cole was third for sure for everybody.
Yeah, and look, me and Academics had a back and forth about this, and he pointed out that Drake's album sales actually surpassed Kendrick's consistently. Mm-hmm. He's right. I looked it up. He was absolutely right. Yeah. Drake has bigger records, but Kendrick has more Grammys because I think he's more artistic. When it comes to the Grammys, it's not about the record sales. It's about more the artsy type projects. Yeah. You can't deny that Kendrick doesn't try to grab every hot producer. He doesn't try to grab every hot feature. Right. He does his own self-contained albums that drop every 3 years. Yeah. And they're all drastically different from the one before. Man. And you got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. Yeah. And we'll see if Kendrick responds.
He responds to what? To Drake?
To Drake. Oh, yeah. We need that response.
We do need that.
We need that response. And you know something, like, you never hear anything violent come out of TDE. You never hear anything violent come from J. Cole or Drake or whatever else. So at the end of the day, people are like, oh, I know Boosie is like, upset. He's like, yo, these rap beefs turn into murders. And it's like, nah, I mean, I respect Boosie. That's my man. But I don't see any of these guys getting violent over this situation.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
And
not saying these are soft guys. It's just not what they do.
I pause at, I don't know if Kendrick has to respond. Because Drake, see, this is what I don't like. You remember No Vaseline?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's Cube the whole way at one target, NWA.
Well, all the group members.
Yeah,
Multiple
NWA.
Targets in that
I'm going at all you guys. What Drake did was like, everybody who's coming at me, I got something for all y'all. But we all ain't connected. So if I'm Kendrick, I'm like, he gave me what, 2 bars, 4 bars, whatever. Does he really want it with me, or does it measure me to do a whole song about one dude when he did a whole song about 8 dudes? Like that, to me, that telling me, like in football, I'm like, you don't really want me.
Yeah, but that was really aimed at Kendrick. Kendrick got the most bars in that song.
Okay, I give you that.
And the harshest bars.
Why you didn't give me all of it then? Yeah, well, I'm big enough to do
this. There's people that are clicking up.
Hold on. No, this is what's fraud about it. I'm going to go at Kendrick and give him the most, but then I'm going to go at easier targets and Rick Ross and say, are you out the game, or are you done, or you 50, or whatever that is. And then it's like, you going to run with that one, and I'm right here, dog. You know, if you really want to win Super Bowl, best. Why are you giving all the rest of them your time and attention?
Well, on the new Metro Future album,
sick album. Both of them.
Both of them are great, yeah.
Great.
A$AP Rocky and The Weeknd took shots at Drake as well. And what's interesting about the A$AP Rocky one, I think we're gonna break the news here, because A$AP Rocky basically was saying that he had slept with Drake's baby mother before he did.
Slept with his baby mama before he did. Okay.
Yeah. I hit it first, basically.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you look at beef between men, most times there's a woman somewhere in the middle.
Two things: money or a woman. Always.
Yeah, usually a woman, though.
Yeah.
More so than money, I feel.
Depends on who you hang with.
Now, A$AP Rocky has 2 kids with Rihanna.
Okay.
What I don't think anyone knows, I remember someone told me this that was sort of hanging out with Drake's crew when this came out. Remember the 2 Chainz song, No Lie? Drake had a line on there. He said, she could have a Grammy, I still treat her ass like a nominee. Just need to know what the pussy likes, so one time is fine with me. That line is about Rihanna.
For sure? Look at you. Look at you.
I can't say for sure.
Press you, Vlad.
I wasn't in the room watching them have sex. No, I cannot say for sure.
No, all I'm saying is Drake.
No Diddy. I just don't know Diddy in there. I was not there in the corner watching him.
No, has Drake owned up to that? I'm asking.
No, he has not. Okay, he has not. But that's what I heard. And look at the line. The song is called No Lie. She could have a Grammy. I still treat her as like a nominee.
She ain't the only girl with a Grammy.
No, but I heard that line was about Rihanna. And I think that's why A$AP Rocky is taking shots at Drake now.
One, it's in your favor to take shots at Drake because Drake is number 1. So he can only come down. And since you're under him, unless you're Kendrick, you can only come up. 2, court of public opinion always has a rooting interest against Goliath. Like, oh, go get him, David. Oh, damn, because everybody else feels like David. Go get him, David. Oh, fuck, you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think A$AP Rocky could simply be like, man, I don't know the dynamic for real in real life, but I'm saying like just trying to think about it professionally. Shit, let's go get Drake. Because if Drake come down here or I go up there, that just closes this gap of where I'm at. Because a lot of people say, A$AP, you ain't focused, or you ain't really that great a rapper, or the fashion, and now you just not. We rapping over here.
Yeah.
You just making words rhyme, like different.
And keep in mind that the only time Drake and Kendrick were on the same song was on the A$AP Rocky song, Fucking Problems.
Good point.
So there's a whole history with everything. Like,
yeah.
I mean, look, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? Like I said, I wasn't in the room.
Yeah. But you know the game, and we both know the game. A lot of shit happens.
The person that told me is someone who doesn't just talk.
Right.
He's actually was in the mix. I'm not going to say who it is. So that's what I think.
Yeah.
Was A$AP Rocky's thing with him. But,
yeah.
We'll see if it ever comes out.
No, that's the game.
Rihanna probably would admit it to A$AP Rocky, or maybe she did. I don't know.
You've been in the game long enough. I've been in the game long enough. There are people I've messed with that are like household names, and I would never say a word.
Yeah.
And they have never said a word. But the point is, some people know.
Yeah.
And if we ever have contention, then all of a sudden it starts to leak out, exude in different ways, right?
Pull out that
so
card.
It could be that.
Yeah.
It could be that. But I do know from the game that usually, like you said, women, money, whatever it is, we beefing for some other reason other than just these words.
Yeah.
Something else is getting in.
Because everyone's rich.
Yeah.
Everyone got women.
Yeah.
But not everyone got every woman.
And
you can have every woman in the world, but that one woman from 10 years ago, you still got a sore spot.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you have kids with her, then you're going to feel a certain type of way. You're going to have a certain disdain. Oh, yeah, he dissed you on the song way back in the day, and now we got kids together. Yeah, fuck that dude.
Yeah, trying to show you tough to her.
Yeah,
because you used to hit it. You look weak to me, but go ahead. As long as she think you tough, that's your girl.
All right. So we've mentioned Diddy a couple times already, so let's talk about the Diddy situation.
Mm-hmm.
His Miami and Beverly Hills homes were raided by the feds.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about the feds and someone as high profile and rich as Diddy, they usually have their ducks lined up.
Right.
Now, he has no charges yet, so we don't really know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have met Diddy before.
I met Diddy. I've been to his house before for a party.
Okay.
Look at y'all,
Been to a Diddy party. Okay.
Who didn't raise your hand if you ever wanted to go to a Diddy party. Well, fuck you. I went. And it was dope.
Did you go to the after party, though?
Oh, man. I don't know what time they went to bed. It was a big party, too. I couldn't believe it. I mean, look, you know he had a mansion.
Yeah.
And then you get in there, and this blew my mind. They were like, all right, people performing. And I forget who performed. I think Mary J., few of that level, like big-time artists. In his living room, though. Like, I'm thinking we going to the backyard or something. No, this motherfucker, he had like a little forum in there, crypto, some arena. And I'm like, we in the living room? And they just went at it. So, yeah, it was a dope party.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about the charges? Well, not the charges, but the potential charges.
See, I live in a strict world that when it comes to charges, because I've been falsely accused my damn self, and just even before allegation or accusation, I just know people, they be making up shit.
Yeah.
First time I ever was like, yo, this star shit is weird, is I got a call like 2 a.m. I'm in San Diego playing for the Chargers, and I pick up the phone with one of my teammates. Said, Wiley, let me in. I was like, what? He's like, yo, after party, your party right here. Let me in. They said you in there. I'm like, dog, I'm at the crib sleep. They promoted that it was my party. More than that, Cats was there telling him that I was in there. I'm like, motherfuckers just be saying shit just for clout.
Yeah.
That said, it's a lot of smoke, obviously. But whenever I hear allegations, I'm like, all right, they're innocent till you prove to me that they're guilty.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, so wait a minute. All these people were around him all this time, and none of this was coming out. But when time expires, whether it's because of him or because of you, now I got the receipts. My question is, are you revising those receipts? Mm-hmm. Because what person raises their hand to be tortured, to be in some power dynamic that is not to their advantage, and continues to do it? If you choose to do that, then I think that should be your life choice. Not, okay, I do it if it helps me, and if it doesn't, then I'm gonna leave and then make up all this stuff. So I'm torn. Look, man, I'm in the light, and I know how it looks in the light. It's a little different.
Yeah, I mean, it's messy because there's a lot of civil suits. Obviously, the Cassie one, he settled. Settling so quick made him look bad.
Yeah,
now,
I know that, yeah.
I know, here's the thing. I've had civil lawsuits that I've settled.
Of course.
They were bullshit.
Yeah.
The person who sued me was stealing from me.
Yeah.
But I had to settle because it ended up being cheaper to settle than to continue going to court. I've already spent $75,000. I'm like, about to have to spend another $150 for the depositions, and they're asking for an amount that's absurd. Way less than that. So fuck it. Let me just spend my money and be done with it.
Yeah.
But I saw how these things kind of developed and how the story started to change and whatever else. Now, was there abuse between Cassie and Diddy? Now, I talked to, Roger Bond, who's the, Diddy security, who said, yes, but it was happening both ways. He'd be in the car with him and Cassie be in the back seat, Diddy be in the, in the passenger seat, and Cassie would just punch him in the face. And then he would jump in the back seat and then start to tussle. And there's very abusive women out there.
Oh, of course. I've been hit.
I've been hit too.
Oh, yeah.
I've been hit.
Stop playing.
So does that justify it? No. But there is more to the story. Mm-hmm. Was there sexual stuff that most people wouldn't understand? I'm sure there was. Was Cassie with it for everything? I don't know. Was she with it for the 10 years she was with him?
Yeah.
I know someone that was hanging around Cassie during that time, and he said whenever they would hang out, only thing she would say is like, can you convince Diddy to marry me?
Wow. Of course.
Like, we've been dating. Like, I want to get married. Like, I'm tired of this dating shit.
That part.
Like, so she was around for 10 years, and obviously now they're apart. Her husband with 2 kids is a personal trainer, so he's not bringing in very much money. I'm sure she's flying coach now. I'm sure she's shopping at Walmart now. Like, you get used to a lifestyle, and you got your ace in the hole, and you can pull it out.
Yeah.
Is some of it true? I don't know. I mean, did Kid Cudi's car get blown up? He's seeming to say they did, and they were dating. I heard about that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but there is a pile-on, and it's going to be crazy to see what happens, but it seems to me like he's going to get hit with charges.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a high probability rate of success when the feds is involved,
Yes,
right?
98%.
98. Well, you know the number. Everybody know that number for a reason. We're like, is Diddy 2% or is he 98%, right? This is my thing. I don't like now trying to evaluate, adjudicate this case from my vantage point, like we all are doing, when where the criminal charges to give me a foundation? Okay, none. Okay, that's fine.
They're saying it's sex trafficking. That's the word that's been happening.
Right. So I'm waiting on those to connect it to a different foundation then.
That's a very gray area term also, because if you think about what happened to R. Kelly, he's not in prison over underage girls. He's in prison because of sex trafficking.
Right,
and sex trafficking, like a RICO, could be very gray area.
Mm-hmm.
If you fly a girl out and y'all have sex, they could technically say it's sex trafficking. Where's the line between sex trafficking and dating?
Right.
It's kind of a very fuzzy line.
Yeah.
But right now, R. Kelly's there for sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that R. Kelly took a bunch of girls and put bags over their heads and chained them, in a cargo container and have them in his basement and he's feeding them cockroaches? No, I don't think so. I think most of the girls wanted to have sex with R. Kelly. And when things went bad, they flipped.
Yep. And that's why I need that connection, foundation of something criminal. Because if not, then it turns into like your story versus their story being revised or forgotten, even worse. Like, dog, what happened 20 years ago? What? Did you stay? Were you permissive? Were you complicit? Were you with me? Like, if we did all of that, then it's like, what are you talking about now? Oh, you with the trainer, you ain't got the money, or your girl done gassed you up, or some lawyer done told you, hey, on contingency, I'll do anything for you if we can hit him or we can make him settle. So I know that Diddy was offered to settle this case before, like the typical, like you know how we do. We get the damn lawsuit, we run the numbers, we like settle it. You got to, no matter what it is. And it's not always bad stuff. It's just like, it's cheaper to move on, keep my peace of mind, name out the news, et cetera, right?
Settlement does not mean admitting to guilt. In fact, there's usually a statement saying that we are not admitting to guilt.
Exactly.
And there's usually an NDA that goes with it.
Yep.
But what people don't realize is that an NDA is a private agreement. And when it comes to criminal charges, it gets superseded.
Mm-hmm.
So Cassie is probably going to take the stand and talk about all the stuff she signed the NDA for.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's a loop. So here's the thing. So now you're sitting there and you're like, okay, Diddy, whatever her number was, because she settled for 30, so that means it was higher.
No. She asked for 30.
Asked for 30. What'd she settle for?
I heard it was in the low to mid 7 figures.
Okay. So she asked for 30 and got lower.
Yeah.
So you're always going to ask for more and get less. Right. So, but the day before he did settle, he was aware that he could settle, and then no one would have heard the Cassie stuff.
Yes.
Which would probably not started the dominoes that keep falling.
Yeah.
You stop the first domino. This is kind of like Deshaun Watson, if you remember back in his case, and I know his team well, and not in always a good way, but I was like, look, I was saying, when I heard of the first one, I think she wanted $30,000, but he was protecting his name. He said he didn't do it. And all I kept saying is, I agree. I believe you. It doesn't matter what I think, but I know what this court of public opinion about to do to you.
Yeah.
So you better, 30,000, that ain't even 3 push-ups at the workout bonus. Come on, man. Get that off you. But he didn't, and it turned into, I think, 47 cases, which is just
47
I think it was like 47 cases. It's the spirit that once somebody says, oh, guess what happened? And somebody's like, that kind of happened, or I could reimagine what happened between Diddy and I and make that sound like it. So I'm not over here accusing the victims or blaming them, but I'm like, are you really a victim? Because my statement is this: all victims need to be heard, but all women, all men ain't victims.
Well, you had your own case over a Columbia student that accused you of something from, 20 years ago or so?
30 years ago.
30 years
94.
ago.
94. Yeah.
What exactly was she accusing you
of? Sexual assault, same as Diddy, all that. And I, immediately, like everything, you get split. This is the game of life, just like sports. Mm-hmm. You never walk into any stadium ever and everyone's cheering you. Mm-hmm. But also, everyone's never all booing you. So I'm used to this from hello. People gonna ride with you, people gonna ride against you immediately as soon as it gets out there, once it's in the ether. So I'm like, all right, this is wild. Because my boy texted me. I was in the Bahamas. I was on vacation somewhere. And I'm like, what? All he texted me was an article. He said, the downside of fame. And it's one of my best friends. And I read it and I was like, it was like outer body at first. So immediately I went to do my show and I literally talked about that beat by beat, like for an hour, just saying, this is what happened. To give it to you in short, because no one's going to read the whole 47-page lawsuit, I had to. And I also have my own record from 1994, which has my statements and her statements.
Oh, so there was a police report or something?
No, she didn't go to police. No.
So it was a complaint?
Just a school to the dean.
School complaint. Okay, got it.
So now she went to the school and told her version, and I'm going to give it to you as short as I can so you can digest it.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited, this is her statement. I'm invited over at 3 a.m. I spend the night to 10:15. This is her statement in 94. Marcellus left the room not knowing he did anything to me because didn't do anything to her. The people still like suspicious, right? Oh, no, I don't know Marcellus. This is her statement. He comes, I invite him back over and he comes back over a couple weeks later. So Columbia hears this whole thing in depth, not way more than that. But basically in a secure dorm at 3 a.m, paper thin walls with no complaint ever from anybody, you let someone spend the night that you said assaulted you? And in our school, you got to sign in, sign out, security right there. You don't get your ID back until the person gives you permission. And then, okay, we hear you. We can hear you. He's over there 7-8 hours and he did what? Why'd you invite him back? So I know I didn't do anything. That's why I'm talking about it right here. Like I don't hide from shit because that's how you lose your freedom. That's how you lose your essence. That's how you lose your just to be able to walk around and keep your confidence and keep your head up. So I'm always going to break it down. So I was like, what? So that's 94. That's what she said. You know what she said in 2023, 2024? Oh, multiple assaults and rapes and then he did all this stuff and it makes it seem like, so the headline comes out, Marcellus Wiley. And then if you read 2 sentences, you read that, I can't believe Marcellus. I'm like, are y'all kidding me? Columbia football is not big, y'all. I was not even that good the year this was allegedly happening. They don't protect football because they make billions by being an academic institution. They gave a damn about me as a football player. So she's basically on the money grab to bring Columbia into this, use my name for the
trying to sue Columbia also?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
There's 3 defendants and 2 of them ain't me.
Okay.
It's Columbia trustees, come on, you can't, and then me. Where's the criminal charges? Where's the criminal investigation? Where's the police report? You did none of that. You know why? She had no evidence. I literally just went over a girl's house a dorm that I was flirting with. She had a boyfriend. We spent the night, didn't even have sex. Come on, Vlad, I'm really getting torched on some BS. And I don't have any ill feelings towards the fact that this is out, because it's really freedom. But people who knew back then made their judgments. And I almost want her to have to really let this out, and we have to go through litigation. You want to know why? Because I want the world to hear, because this is happening a lot. Innocent victims. I end up becoming innocent. I become the innocent, because I ain't do shit. I want the world to hear some woman have to stand up, testify, and lie. Because there's no way she can reconcile what she said in 94 happened with what she said happened in this allegation 30 years later.
So is this thing done or is it still ongoing?
It's still ongoing.
Really?
Yeah, I talk that shit.
So you have to keep spending lawyer money on this.
We'll see. I mean, look, she made her claims, and then it's mediation. We'll see. And look, I'm with Columbia, so like it's a lot of money because Columbia's involved.
Right, but you need your own lawyer, though.
Oh,
right?
I do. I got
that's what I'm saying.
I got Diddy's lawyer.
There's the Columbia has its lawyers, and you're going to have your own lawyer to protect yourself.
I did.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's
tough.
tough.
No. It's not tough. Don't, no poor Marcellus. I got bullshit. I got lied on. The only thing that's tough is not for me. It's for my son. I named my son Marcellus Vernon Wiley Jr., namesake. He has to Google his name, and if you don't hit Junior, you go Marcellus Vernon Wiley. One day, he gonna hear his dad. One day, he's gonna see his name in that light. The rest, but that's why I gotta fight that light with the truth, which is, and I got the receipt. It's so crazy. I have a record of someone saying he did nothing, and then 30 years later, because it's advantageous, he did this. So I'll look, the money, either you pay it or you OJ it, as you said. Let me see. Look, either you pay it and it's just money, but she stole my son's name in this respect, and that's why I want to make her pay.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Is she a Jane Doe, or she actually put her name out there?
Oh, she put her name out there.
Yeah, see, because a lot of times, you know, like for example, Diddy managed to get one of the Jane Does to have to admit their actual names.
Yeah.
I feel this is one of the worst laws in America.
Yeah, it
because
is.
someone could sue you as a Jane Doe or a John Doe. You get dragged through the mud, and if they lose or it gets thrown out like it usually does, no repercussions.
Yeah.
And they want to say, oh, well, these powerful men and women out there, they could ruin their lives if their names are made public. Well, then in that case, you should have to sue someone with the other person's name being anonymous as well.
Yeah.
2 anonymous lawsuits.
Yeah.
Either make everyone anonymous or make everyone public. Like the fact that one is anonymous, one is public is crazy to me.
Yeah, it is crazy. But I understand why they do that, because there are real instances where the power at play and that disparity, like this person versus this person, you got to protect this person. But this ain't my situation. So like you said, it shouldn't be absolute. But I do know instances where I'm like, yeah, protect that motherfucker. Because if going against that, it's a whole different animal. But I say it and I say it again. All victims should be heard, but all women ain't victims. And so there have been too many instances where I think court of public opinion, we sitting there like, dog, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But who goes through this? I did not raise my hand to get my name dragged through the mud. But since we in this game and it's already out there, let's clean this name off. Remember Duke Lacrosse at first? Everybody was killing him. Duke Lacrosse, killing him. Then it was like, oh, my bad. She lied. Trevor Bauer. Yep. So there are instances where you're like, oh, shit. I got that instance right now. So that's why, Vlad, I might do a little to gain a lot and hopefully protect my son's name.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the Diddy lawsuit, the Lil Rod lawsuit, from what I understand, the lawyer who's representing him has done a whole bunch of lawsuits like this. Mm-hmm. And he's basically, he's having to go through hearings himself, the lawyer, because he has a history of trying to circumvent the law by creating these outrageous lawsuits with all these like details that a lot of times are probably not true in order to shame the person to just settle.
Come on.
Look, like I read through the Lil Rod lawsuit. Some of it was so ridiculous. They're like, Lil Rod claims that Diddy promised to give him his $20 million Miami house if he produced his album. Really? Really? An album that Diddy knows no one's going to buy. Right. It's not like Diddy's going to be number one on the charts. Yeah. He's Diddy. He's an older semi-artist that's putting out a project. Yeah. He's not going to give one of his homes away to this guy for making a few tracks.
No. Look. Look. Mine says this. He assaulted me, but we had a full night's sleep. Like, no alarm. She's literally, and then invited me over. I come back over and hang out again. And that was the first time I was like, she acting weird, right? And she was acting weird, not because of what we did. She acted weird because I messed with her friend. Oh. Come on. This shit is silly. And that's why, like most people punk out in this moment. And I have punked out before on settlements. I'm like, this fucker gonna say this, I don't have so much stuff made up on me before. I'm like, and they're like, settle it. This one didn't offer me the settlement because of Columbia. They're like, why offer Marcellus a settlement with his little $5 million a year making ass when someone got $50 billion?
Yeah.
So they like, we going in. I'm like, well then if we going in, let's go. Because there's nothing that they can stand on. The only thing they can stand on is the same squeeze play. Columbia like, man, get this shit out of my face. And that's the only thing.
Well, according to the Chinese zodiac sign, this is the year of the dragon. But this really should be the year of the cougar, because there is some cougarish activity going on in the world. Drea, who's 39 years old.
I just saw her yesterday.
You saw her yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Pregnant.
Yeah, in the front and back. Let me say. That's what I noticed at first. I was like, what? Because you know where I sit. I sit right behind the visitors' bench. Mm-hmm. And so when they were playing Houston, Jaylen Green, beast, they got a lot of young talent. So somebody walking by, and I'm with my son, and this radar go off. I'm like, what? And it's always that row because all the players, they wives, their girlfriends, their mistresses, everything. It's heat. And I'm like, what? Like you can see the bump, and you can see the bump. I was like, this is insane. And they all just dressed, to the fanciest. I was just like, I said hello to, and she actually said hello back.
Okay.
Like in a nice way.
Well, she's 39. Jaylen Green is 22.
Yeah.
Which is the same age as her oldest son.
I know this. Let's go. What do you want to know? What you think? What I'm thinking?
What's your take on this?
I go back. I was engaged leaving college, and my mom hated who I was engaged to. My sister hated who I was engaged to. And it was for nothing else except her age, which I think was like high 20s. Like, I even had questions like, how old are you for real? But the point is, my mama and sister hated her because they were like, she already took a lap of these NFL dudes and ended up here, and now she's trying to get somebody next. And it was true. But I didn't feel all that. I was like, yo, this is different, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can have your exes. I got my exes, blah, blah, blah. But I feel that spirit of people trying to protect Jaylen or talking trash about her because she already done been around all that. And you can't be saying my son is the same age as my boyfriend and then want some respect to be given to somebody. It just doesn't happen that way. Family dynamics is a mess. And so I look at it like, I don't respect what you in. And if I'm Jaylen's teammate, if I'm his teammate, I'm like, dog, you got God. It's okay. I got God before. And look, I got a baby mama, 25-year-old. I didn't get God because I love my daughter to death. But that wasn't ideal. And teammates was like, dog, you got God. Like, because y'all broke up so fast. I was like, nah, man. Love, the heart breaks at times. But this shit sound like almost manipulative, almost like, dog.
Surgical.
Yeah, it's strategic. And look, dudes do it all the time.
Yep.
We live by that code.
It's happening right now somewhere.
Right. And I just told my boy, one of my best friends who just got recently divorced, and he was dating everybody half his age. I said, I'm going to tell you the real, dog. All those girls you dating, fine. For real, all of them. And ain't none of them getting us to respect you in this relationship. None of us look at your relationship like it's fresh. I'm just telling you, y'all look good, but we ain't respecting it. So go your lane. And I think in that situation, it's sad. Look, they ain't going to go forever. I don't think this is no forever ending story, but he got God. It's okay. Take care of that kid. Do as long as you and Dre are going to do, and take care of that kid. But it's fucked up that she had that scope on him and actually hit the target.
Well, yeah, they're saying that he has two other girls pregnant at the same time.
Okay, now, let me just throw out all that shit I just said. He ain't get got. He getting it. He getting it in. That's what he do.
He out here shooting up clubs, basically.
She was with him when he was shooting in the gym. Other girls, too.
Right. That's what they say.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then look, I had teammates like that. Probably not obviously as famous as Jaylen Green, but dudes, 5 kids, 4 baby mama stuff. So, like, you start to see that coming. The girl sees you coming. Oh, I just really into you. Oh, I hope I'm pregnant. And then the dudes see these young, fine girls. Let me get to her before somebody else in the league holla at her. Like, we playing the same game.
Yeah.
Just different ways and different prizes.
Right. And the term groupie doesn't just apply to women.
Hell
it
no.
applies to men. All men are groupies for somebody. There's some girl in high school we wish we would have had access to, and we get older, and suddenly she's right here.
One of my good friends is that person, and it's Tiffany Cambridge.
Okay.
And Tiffany Cambridge, people are like, who the fuck is that? Finest girl I ever met. I always tell my wife, in the 9th grade, there's no one ever finer than Tiffany Cambridge, right? But that's Game's baby mama. Rapper.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I just interviewed him,
Yeah. To the point of, that's how fine she was, that Game. like you said. And was I a groupie to her when we growing up? And she's still my girl to this day. The homie, never touched her, nothing. Just always salute. Hell yeah. Everybody was a groupie to Tiffany Cambridge. And it took a game to get her. Like, I wasn't that. I couldn't do it. Like, I was fresh, but not that fresh. And that's how the game goes. Pun intended.
Well, there's Larsa Pippen. Well, last time you were here, we talked about her dating Malik Beasley.
Oh, that's who it was then?
Yeah.
Because she would Marcus.
Now she's with Marcus Jordan, or maybe they're broken up or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like twice his age. Well, she's 49 and he's
49? Oh, yeah, she was Pippen. Yeah, because he's older than me.
Yeah.
49? She actually looked good for 49.
She's
like
49, and Marcus Jordan, I think,
she was
33?
Yeah, he young.
33.
He young. Yeah, I just saw them this summer. I saw him last summer, I should say. BravoCon, all that housewife stuff. Dog, my thing is there's two lanes. You're like, all right, so this is for the woman who want to go to the club, and every girl has to face this fork in the road. Do I get in by standing in this line and keeping my respectful demeanor and garb on, or just be that fine? Or do I go to this lane where I'm like, all right, let me narrow this down to a few little strings and hopefully get noticed so I could skip the line? And figuratively, that's what that is.
Skipping the line.
It's just skipping the line, like, dog. And she is attractive enough that every dude that sees her, because that's what happens with all of us. You can say what you want, dog, right here in front of Vlad in the AC in the studio. Let's go in them streets, have 2 drinks, and then see her. Then I'd be like, dog, she melting your ass, ain't she? Yeah, it's different. I've been there before. I'm like, man, I ain't talking to that girl. I ain't talking to that girl. Because I never liked actresses and stuff, because I never want to be blasted. Like, I never want somebody to be like, oh, I can't stand Marcellus on some damn show. And I'm like, girl, we did what we did, and nobody knows. That's why it's a few of them that I have been with before that don't talk. But you see them coming. It's just, sometimes it's your kryptonite, and sometimes it's just y'all night. And these dudes know what they're doing. They're raising their hands to get it done.
You know, for example, you have Joy Chavis.
Who?
She has a baby with Bow Wow and Future, and she's now pregnant with Trayvon Diggs' baby.
She fine, huh?
She's pretty. She's pretty.
She gotta
and
be
people are like,
fine.
she got 3, she gonna have 3 babies by 3 celebrities, but he got like 3 baby mamas of his own.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, a lot of times people shame the woman and they don't look at what the man's doing. Like I said, Jaylen Green got 2 other kids on the way at the same time.
Yeah, but that ain't the same. Don't try to bail that one out. Don't do that one. All right, look.
It is reckless, man. If you have a whole bunch of kids, like what do they call them? Irish twins, where you have like a whole bunch of kids that are the same age and they're all different baby mothers. Like, there's nothing cool about that. No one aspires to this.
First of all, it's all bad. Like, you setting your kids up for less success. Not failure, less success. It can work out. It probably will. But the point is, you have now changed the probability. Because you ain't going to be around like that. Y'all not going to have the best of relationship. It's not a nuclear family, blah, blah, blah. But here's the crazy thing. This is why it's different, whether it's the man or woman. It's whoever's the groupie. If you have 3, like Erykah Badu went through that, right? Andre 3000, right?
DOC.
The homie. And who?
Jay
Electronica.
Yeah.
The layer that everyone has an issue with is you got a type, and then shit comes from that versus just shit happening. Like, everyone knows we all step in it. Shit happens to everybody, different versions. But when you lead with that type, that's when people are like, do you even care about me? Are you sincerely into me, or are you just into this type? Because that's the toughest. So I used to hate when a girl, I hated 2 things. I hated when they were like, oh, you play football? Ugh, I ain't dating you. I was like, you dumb. Like, look, I'm a nice guy. I have fun. I went to Columbia. Like, I used to say all kind of shit. I was like, what are you talking about just because I play football? Me and him do the same thing, but we ain't the same dude. I hated that, and I hated when all she dated was football players. Like, I know your ex. I know your ex-ex. Those my teammates. One of them, I'm like, you leading wrong. And so I was like, we gonna be homies. But I'm sorry. I gotta judge this book by the cover.
I remember I had Sebastian Telfair on my show recently, ex-NBA player.
Yeah.
He says that NBA players get the most girls of any sport.
Nobody got more chicks than the basketball players. Why or how or I don't know. I don't want to argue with nobody, but no one got more chicks than the basketball players.
Well, because you guys actually show your face. Like football players wear helmets.
What it is, and maybe how our schedule is set up, just how the business is set up. You got a whole lot of time for the work.
I would say, watch out for baseball, dog. They got the life. They got it set up. They per diem is insane.
They make more money.
They make more money. They're there longer. They got lives set up on the road. Like in football, you just got that night of curfew and shit, and we got to sneak out. Blah blah blah. We in last place.
He pointed out, which I didn't know, the NBA doesn't have curfew.
For football, they talking about curfews and like it's a different business.
So when you're on road games
and basketball,
there's no curfew?
None of that shit. Zero. In the NBA, they don't got none of that.
Really? I thought
show up to practice on time,
and that's it.
Ain't none of that. They checking your room and all that. Like
they don't have curfew, and so like now you can't even go out.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just stop for a second. Why does the NFL have curfews and other sports do not?
Because our shit is real. like you wake up tired tomorrow and your ass got to go out there and hit somebody 70 times. All the liability. We need a discipline. First of all, we have too many moving parts. We got 53 dudes. I can't say 53 dudes can go out and do what they want because mob mentality. Like, it's different when it's 15. Like, you all right? But 53? Shit. We charter in a plane to go somewhere if we ain't got no curfew. 2, the physicality of the sport. All dimensions have to be on full blast. You ever heard game management in football? Load management in football? Shit, these bullets live, bro.
Yeah, there's no Kawhi Leonards in the NFL. Right, I get it.
So they looking out for us, they looking out for the bottom line, and they looking out for that community that we would destroy if we could go out there 53 deep. Because we got helmet mentality too, like, because people don't notice who we are.
Right.
Unless you the shit. And so when you become famous as a football player, like when I walk around, people speak to me, people are like, damn, dog, like football, that's hard to do. But when I was playing and that was happening, everybody else who I was with was acting harder, crazier, turning up more than me because they wanted to get noticed. And so
right, you guys wear helmets and you don't know the faces like you do in basketball or baseball.
Right. And so when we go to the club, imagine a football player, baseball player, basketball player, all same level at the club, right? If they're superstars, it's the same.
Yes.
But most of it, the middle, if I'm making $10 million on a football team and I'm just the number 2 receiver, nobody know your ass like that, right?
Yeah.
So, but you making $10 million. And then you see some star over there from baseball, star over there from basketball, and it's time to compete because I'm keeping up with the Joneses. So we going hard. So that's what that is, man. Like NBA players, it's the best sport. It's the top of all sports.
Huh.
Every athlete ever wanted to be an NBA player. But what happens is life, your skills tell you all y'all don't qualify. And no one chooses football. Football chooses you because you fell down from basketball. Look at all them dudes. So what happens is only 2 players ever in the existence of football wanted to play football. Ray Lewis and Dick Buckus. The rest of us didn't want to do this shit. But we like, fuck it. This shit works for me because I couldn't play basketball.
Oh, so you want to play basketball?
I said everybody wants to. Baseball players, everybody. It's 82 games. Vlad, if I run into you and bump you, guess what they do? Stop. Everyone stop. Come here in that tank top and shorts. Stand right there. No one move. Camera right here. You getting all that fame. Every girl at home, he cute, girl. He cute, girl. Who that? You 6'8", lean and shit. Oh, the station, we got another one. In football, somebody hit your ass, hit them harder. And then if something hurts, so what? Like, it's a whole different animal, dog. So, yeah, like deep down, everybody wanted to be a basketball player, and you just fall down to what you could do.
Well, that's a good point.
Ain't a good point. It's a great point. Name a basketball player that chose another sport. It doesn't happen.
No, it's a great point.
No one ever chooses.
You chimed in on the whole Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman situation.
Yeah.
Now, you and Max are good friends.
Yeah. That's my dog.
That's your dog. I met him once on a plane.
Okay.
Just in
you
passing.
Speak? You speak?
Very briefly.
Y'all, look at y'all over there.
No, I mean, I got his contact number.
Oh, okay.
He gave me like an email, so I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's Max.
He's not serious about that.
His circle's small.
I'm like, when I get the email, I'm like,
Yeah,
this is probably not going anywhere.
Yeah.
What was your whole take about their breakup?
I didn't care about their breakup.
Yeah.
Like, this is the game I'm in. Like, I started off at NFL Network. Then from there, they didn't want to give me a job like I desired because I wasn't a Hall of Famer. All right, that's cool. I go to ESPN. I'm there 11 years, work with Max. All these names that everyone knows. I know Stephen A. Smith. I've hung out with Stephen A. Smith many a times, right? I don't care if y'all break up. What I used to watch and witness was he didn't respect Max. So my first instinct was like, Max, you're going to have to fight for your respect. But Max was in a position where it was Stephen A. Smith's show because Skip left. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, the dog I know, my homeboy Max ain't doing what he do, like how we do it. Like I've seen him do it other ways. And I was like, damn, but that ain't Stephen A. Smith's fault. Like in football, if I'm punking you out, that's on you, bro. Or get up out of here, right? So they broke up and I was just like, damn, that's wild. Y'all could have been insanely great together, but hey, it is. But then Stephen A. went on a tour of talking about it. And I think he went on like 4 or 5 stops. And every time, like anything, people gonna bring it up. And for all these people saying, man, that shit old. I hate those people in this world. People go to the barbershop and literally stay there for 4 hours talking about Jordan still. And motherfuckers be like, that shit's old. Like, if it happened, we gonna talk about it. So stop that. Every time I saw Stephen A. Smith, because I'm a fan, for real. Dude works, dude says some good shit, great shit. And then also he BS's at times. We all do. But he really was going there. So the tour turned into almost no Vaseline on Max. Hit him up on Max. And so stupid. But the last one was Joe Budden. If you saw the Joe Budden one, I was like, nah, he flexing. I was like, that ain't right. You dancing on the grave of Max. Max, gone from your show, gone from your network, and you not saying it in a way, like I saw when y'all were working together, that you respect the dude. So all I wanted to do is kind of referee that.
Well, right. Steven pointed out, he justified the split because he felt that Max was neither an athlete or a journalist.
That's when you know, here go the bullshit. Let's go.
Yeah.
You knew that when you hired him, bruh.
Right.
Everybody knew that, right? Stop. See, this
right.
is what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, for example,
yeah,
I did an interview with Deion Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
And he went in on the Jets. He went in on Sauce Gardner, and so forth. So Sauce kind of like talked some shit back on Twitter. He's like, oh, you on VladTV with your shirt off or whatever else. and I remember Sauce went on, I think, The Pivot, and he was talking about the interview, and he was like, yeah, man, you talking to Vlad, and Vlad's never been a professional athlete. What does he know about sports? And it's like, what do I know about rappers? What do I know about gangsters? What do I know about all the professional athletes that I've interviewed?
Yeah.
Enough to do the interview.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like to say what does Oprah know about the people she interviews? Well, what does 60 Minutes know about every person that they interview? It's called research.
Yeah.
It's called being good at your craft.
Right.
Sauce Gardner's tripping right now. But people try to say that, well, you've never been an athlete, so you can't talk about sports. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And coming from sports doesn't mean that you know how to talk about sports.
Right. You know what they doing? Because they're punks. This is the punk moment. So I always talk about the act, not the actor. Stephen A. Smith is not a punk, but that move was a punk move. And I have done punk moves myself. When you don't want to say what it really is, you're a punk. So when you do a punk move, it's going to come out whack. It's going to come out like a punk because somebody smart can be like, wait a minute, say what you really mean. It ain't the fact that he's not an athlete or journalist. It's the fact that you don't like his ass.
Yeah, that's it. You don't like him.
I don't like you, bruh. And if you would have said that, you don't get no interview from me. You don't get no clap back from Marcellus. I'm like, Max, yeah, he ain't fuck with you.
Yeah,
but when you try to diminish his credibility, his credentials, when you start making up stuff just because people don't typically know or follow through. So you could go on Joe Budden's music, rap, entertainment-focused podcast and talk about this sports guy, and somebody who don't know just like, oh, yeah, the dude wasn't an athlete or journalist. Well, Stephen A., there's levels to this.
Yeah.
You weren't an athlete the way I consider an athlete.
No,
I start at pro level.
Not at all.
I start at pro. Even if you were a scrub, got cut the first day, you different than the dude who was the shit in college and never made it. Okay, I got levels. I can go all the way down to high school. Pop Warner, some of the best players I ever met, never made it pro. So it's levels. Yeah. But please keep it 1,000. And stop acting like you didn't like that dude. Just say, fuck him.
Well, look, I have met Stephen A. before. I remember coming out of a Jordan party. I've talked about this before. We were both in line waiting for the bus to take us back to the parking lot, and he was literally standing right behind me.
I heard this story.
You heard the story, yeah.
Give it to me.
And I turn around and Stephen A. Smith. I'm like, oh, Stephen A. Smith, what's good? I'm Vlad from VladTV. He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, we cover you a lot, on my news site. And he said, yeah, everybody does.
I know, I heard it.
And I was like,
you're like, I don't.
Really? I'm like, yo, man. I'm like, what kind of statements? He's like, oh, well, he kind of tried to sort of talk his way out of it. I'm with my security, and I'm just like,
yeah.
That was just uncalled for.
Yeah.
Because yes, I'm sure a lot of people do cover you, but not every person has millions of viewers every day like VladTV does. So I'm like, whatever. And I remember a few months ago.
Y'all pissing at each other now. Pull it out. Me, I got you. I'm a little with Stephen A. on that one in the respect. I had a lot of teammates, some of them assholes. And you don't always have to land neatly in public. And I used to think that way because that's how I am. You know me. Every time I see anybody, love.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't like that.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have to be obligated to be like that. But it comes with its consequences. People going to be looking at you like your ass is stuck up.
And someone with millions of viewers is going to be talking about you. And what's interesting is a few months ago, I get contacted by someone at his show, and they're like, oh, Stephen A. Smith wants to use your John Sally clip about how the NBA isn't into older players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He wants to use it for his show. And I'm like, oh, his TV show. They're like, nah, his YouTube show. And I'm like, all right, well, if it was a TV show, I'd be like, whatever. That's fine, because that's a whole different audience. But Stephen doesn't really have a big following on YouTube. Not like my following.
Oh, so look at that flex. Well, I ain't shit to you then, Vlad.
Not like my following.
How many millions you got, Vlad?
Almost 6 million.
6?
Yeah, almost 6 million.
6 million Dougie Fresh, y'all?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so my thing was this. I said, all right, I'll tell you what.
Damn.
I will give you guys permission to use this clip, have Stephen call me, so we just establish a relationship.
Yeah, right. You sunning them. You get in the back of that parking lot. You ain't slick.
No. I wasn't. I mean, to me, it's whatever. No. Listen, if you really know me,
I do know you.
For me, it's the business.
I know that.
We could have a bad little interaction, and if there's some business on the table, whatever. We could even talk about the interaction in our interview at some point.
That action in that parking lot made what you want from Stephen A. going forward until you guys are cool transactional, correct?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So you like, oh, now that's why it's important to network and have human capital, social capital.
Exactly.
If you an asshole, you're going to have to deal with.
Right. You want to use my shit? Okay, we're going to have a conversation about it first.
That part.
And they're like, well, he's just really busy. And I'm like, well, I'm just too busy. I'm too busy to clear it. That's how it ended. That's
where we started.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to play nice with me. I'm not going to play nice with you.
Want to play that game?
And we all lose.
You want to play that game?
You don't get free content.
That game will play
you. And I don't have a business connection, because at the end of the day, me and Steven, what we do overlaps. We interview some of the same people.
That's true.
We have big followings.
Yep.
We talk to celebrities for a living.
Yep.
We all have our fan bases. Whatever else.
We could have been cool.
We could work together. I'm not saying, well, you have to do my show. No, you don't have to do my show. But let's just have an interaction, because sometimes, I have good business relationships with a ton of people, like you, like Gilbert Arenas. He's got his own. He's coming up in the game now. He's killing it.
Yeah.
Academics, he's always on my show. Adam 22, Charlemagne, we always talk. I would do the Breakfast Club. He would do Vlad TV. Mm-hmm. It works out better if we're all working together, not beefing with each other, talking about, everyone covers me. No, that's dumb. That's a dumb way of looking at it. We all are trying to get eyeballs and all trying to work together. But my thing was like, okay, you want to use my shit for free? Because you're not offering me any money for it. Right. Now, if you're offering money for it, then you don't have to call me.
Exactly. He know it.
So you want to do it for free? Give me a call. No, he's really busy. He's traveling. I'm like, okay, well, I'm too busy to clear it. When he gets less busy, I'll become less busy.
Good for you.
And nothing happened.
And that's why I like that I'm always accessible to people, no matter who they are, what status, not even to pay it forward. Just pay it in the moment. Like, I'm appreciative. My attitude is gratitude. So I ain't gonna be no asshole to nobody. But what gives it the cherry on top is a lot of times it pays itself forward. The bank in the sky. Next thing you know, oh, that dude that you just was nice to, it happens to me all the time. Oh, you took that picture with my son. Yeah, I'm the CFO of Uncle Nearest.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. And that just happened to me. I literally talking to a kid who wants to go to Columbia. Literally, oh, your dad's a CFO. That's how the game go. But if not, you choose your lane.
Exactly. Listen, when people walk up to me and ask for pictures or want to talk to me, I'm always extremely nice.
Yeah, you got to be, man.
If people recognize me, like the waiters or whatever, recognize me in a restaurant, I'll always overtip them. Like, because my thing is like,
that part.
I'm lucky to be in this position.
Same.
I'm lucky that I have fans.
Same.
I'm lucky that people spend time out of their day. Time is the most important thing a person can own.
Bingo.
And the fact that they're devoting some of their time
That
to something I'm producing and showing appreciation for it on top of that, man, listen, whatever you want. Pictures with anyone. I remember I was in Atlanta and I walked into like, they were having like a wedding there. Like, oh my God, DJ Vlad's got literally a line of people waiting to take pictures with me. But I'm like, it's all good, man. I'm happy to be in this position.
So people lose
I would
sight of
never be rude and brush people off because now you have an enemy.
Mm-hmm. Some people lose sight of that. And they become asshole. Look, I had a lot of teammates that were like that. Asshole. Nice to me, nice to my family, asshole to all the other fans that they don't know and connected with. Fuck that. And I'll be like, dog, why? Like, you know how close, no matter who you are to not being in this position, right? It's that fickle. So I always say the road to success and failure look almost exactly the same. You know how many cats ran hills with me, did push-ups with me, workouts with me, and they ass didn't get a sniff in the league. We did the same stuff. I just blessed. I got different talents and skills, and it worked out. I'm not even the best football player from my neighborhood. He didn't make it. Stace Bozeman is the best football player I have ever seen on any level. Now, that was high school. He chose to go basketball. He goes to SC. He plays pro for a second in basketball. The whole Charlie Ward world where you chose basketball, obviously, over football. If he would have chose football, he was Mike Vick, fucking Randall Cunningham, Patrick Mahomes all in one in high school. Number one player in the country.
He was a quarterback?
Yeah, quarterback.
Okay.
Way back. But point being, I use that to make sure I stay humble. Because the last thing I want to do is have somebody tell a story about everybody does. Like, you know what I mean? When I'm in fucking line. And so let me get this out because I don't know if you got a follow-up or not. I don't know. I don't trust you, Vlad. I don't dislike Stephen A. because I talk about the act.
I don't dislike Stephen A.
The act of coming at Max and using that power over him in terms of manipulating the narrative. Not getting him off your show. If your show, sorry, I don't want to fuck with you. I did that one time. There was a co-host, and I was like, I don't want to work with him. And I told him, and he was like, all right. And he's still kind of my boy, but it hurt. But I was like, nah, dog, I'm not going to do well with you.
Mm-hmm.
Say that. But I'm not going to go around and say, oh, you know, this guy ain't even an athlete and not a journalist, and he ain't even good enough, and the ratings got better. And ratings were good. They would have been better with him, and they were still good. They would have been better with him if y'all were pulling in the same direction. I saw times when Max would say something funny, and he stale face him. I was like, that ain't no, everybody saw it. I ain't making shit
You said
up.
it was sabotage.
Oh, absolutely. Capital S. Sabotage. Yeah. But he didn't even have to do that. He could have just simply said, or maybe he could, I don't want to work with him. And this is why. I don't want to work with him. And I think he didn't maybe have that power, and then he got that power later. But the whole post-game tour of killing who you didn't want to work with, I've never seen that done in our game like that, and that's why I jumped in.
What happened to Max Kellerman? Because it's been about a year, and he hasn't been on any shows. He's really been just silent. Max
Got paid to leave ESPN, like all of them did.
Before he got severance.
Yeah, severance.
Do you know how big it was?
I don't know exactly. Let me say this. He got paid the same he was making, which was 5.5 to go. Like, he's still getting paid like his regular deal to November.
Ah, that's why he's being silent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, don't think Max fell off, y'all. He just get paid to do nothing.
So he's like a non-compete to go along with the severance. Okay, got it.
Well, no,
Something
no,
like
no,
that.
No, because Keyshawn also got paid to go away. And then Keyshawn wanted to keep working because Keyshawn's like, look, I want to go back home, do this thing with Skip, etc. So they worked it out. But Keyshawn, same position as Max. Max like, I ain't gonna fight that. Y'all paying me to chill and figure out the next move? I will. Keyshawn, oh, y'all paying me to chill? I want to work. And then that's the difference.
Okay, so do you see Max coming back soon?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think after November, look, you got to make your move, and he probably going to start taking off on the runway and let that plane take off around November, plus or minus some months, I would say.
Okay, because when you left FS1, from what I understand, you were making $1.9 million, and they offered you $1.1 million.
The first response was 1-1, so maybe I could have got more, but yeah, when they came back, it was 1-9 to 1-1. I was like, ooh, I know what that means. There's a difference between someone working with you, and there's a difference between someone supporting your work. And I just know the difference, right? So I was like, ooh, this may not be it. This may not be the future for me. But that wasn't the primary reason. That's just the monetary reason.
Okay. Because now you're doing independent.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going back to a network, or do you like what you're doing now?
I love what I'm doing now. I'm open to whatever comes my way, but what has come my way is Brinks TV. Y'all see me trying to do that whole independent backpack. Oh, this is my brand. No, but I'm a partner in Brinks TV. So do you know John Brinkus? Sports Science. You ever used to watch that show, Sports Science?
I'm not familiar.
ESPN show, won like 6 Emmys back in the day. That's my partner. He founded Brinks TV. While I'm going through this negotiation with Fox, I think there's a few points you got to understand. Fox comes to me. They're like, Marcellus, let's talk about the next deal. What do you want to do going forward? I said, I want to do more. And I kept talking. And then I could tell, I was like, they don't want to hear that. I said, what do you guys want me to do? They was like, we wanted you to do something lighter. Now, lighter in our industry means either hot takes or, you know, what I did like Sports Nation stuff. So it was either go backwards to Sports Nation or do something I'm never going to do, which is kill athletes just so y'all at home could be like, ooh, that's pretty cool. So I was like, damn, here we go. 2, what happened was Jason Whitlock had left, my former co-host. And he left in the middle of the night. And I knew he was leaving, but he never directly told me. And I still talk to him to this day. I was like, dog, that's some punk shit. Why you didn't tell me? You know what I mean? And he's like, what? It's not your business. So he moved on. Jason Whitlock did his thing. I'm not mad at it at all. Just like with Stephen A. Smith would have told Max, man, get out of here. That's the game. But when he left, I noticed they didn't give him exactly what he wanted. And he moved on, and he's having his success. So this is kind of confidence building for me. Like, if you do leave, there's a way for you to leave and excel. But what killed it all, and people didn't notice at the time, is that my agent had planted a seed. My agent is Nick Khan. If you don't know who Nick Khan is, super agent for sports media who left to run WWE. So he had me, Max, you name him, Michelle Beadle, you name them, all of us. And he just called me one day. He was like, Marcellus, there comes a time in a man's life where he stops wanting to hit singles and doubles, 1-1-1-9, and he wants to hit a home run. And he's like, usually that time is late 40s, you know, around this time. I'm going to try and hit a home run. And that was to become president of WWE. Now he's co-owner. I don't know. He just runs it. He's the one. $15 million bonus just last year. And this year they're doing better. That's bonus. I mean, oh, come on, man. And so he planted that seed in me. I was like, damn. So when it was time to talk through the negotiations, my spirit was like, dog, you know you want to do something different. I like sports for a different reason. I like it for the life lessons. And then I was on the show, and I was on the show where we were getting there, but then it started to get weird because they wanted to go lighter. And I felt that pull. My co-host wanted to do it that way. And he's a talent. So I was like, all right, he's younger, he's cheaper at the time, all that stuff. So I just knew that I'm in Whitlock's position where he didn't get everything he wanted, so he dipped. My agent just dipped and had tremendous success. Bet on yourself again, Marcellus. Basically, Columbia. Oh, you ain't gonna go to the league?
Yeah.
So now, independent. Oh, you ain't gonna. Let's go. So at Brinks TV, I'm a partner there.
Well, what do you think about the whole Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless breakup?
I was talked to Shannon a couple times around that time.
Okay.
Skip was disrespectful, but he's empowered to be disrespectful because the industry empowers certain people to be disrespectful. Typically, the big name non-jock. Think about the top sports media people. Who are they? Skip, Stephen A., Dan Patrick, who I love, salute. Different breed than them, but Jim Rome, who else? Colin Cowherd.
Mm.
None of them dudes play pro, right?
Well, what about, like, for example, like the Shaqs and?
Well, see, that they don't do daily commentary. Now, that's a whole.
Okay, that's a different beast. Okay.
Yeah. Look, when you do studio, that's different. Studio daily's different than Studio Big Show.
Okay, I got
which is different than
it. Okay.
Sideline. You know.
No, I got it.
Yeah,
Thanks for pointing that
I'm
out.
talking about the guys who always talking word count. So our industry, you know how rap, they always say they only let gangster rap in, and they only. I don't go too far down that rabbit hole, but there's no coincidence that the top dogs who talk it daily didn't play it. Want to know why? Because that disconnect allows them to go places that the former athletes don't. They ain't invested.
Right.
They don't know what it really is like.
Yeah, and they don't have the personal relationships, the close personal relationships.
No.
That stops them from speaking about certain people.
Yeah, and that's not protection. That's respect. Like, y'all, do you know how hard it is to make it? So when you coming from that perspective, you know how you build it. Now, I'm not saying I love Dan Patrick, and I respect all of them, how they do it. But I know when it comes to sensibilities, that's why they kill athletes. And I never liked all that Skip Bayless stuff. I was on Jalen Rose's side when he was going at Skip, and I like Skip in real life. I love Skip in real life. He's a real dude.
Yeah, I met him last year. Real cool dude.
Real cool dude. I just don't like this shtick. I don't like this gimmick. So instead of throwing Skip Bayless out or Stephen A. out with the bathwater, I just call that thing out and just keep it pushing.
I mean, when Steve Stout did an interview with Shannon Sharp, he said that black people shouldn't work with Skip Bayless.
Mm-hmm, I saw that. I disagree with that, but I heard it. And I just seen Steve Stout. Him and Ben Horowitz, really cool. And Ben Horowitz, yeah. And that's my guy, Ben Horowitz. So I see Steve Stout through Ben Horowitz. I'm not into identity politics. So as soon as I hear black, woman, man, I'm like, oh, God. Graduate. Oh, you don't understand. No, you don't understand it. And I hate it when it's coming from someone who does get it, who has means, who knows what the game is like. Because they're telling, and they think they're doing well and right for those coming up. But since you telling them some BS, then they ain't gonna come up knowing the real. The real of it is, why wouldn't a black person do a show with Skip when Stephen A. did? You don't want to be Stephen A.?
Right.
Like, the answer is that simple. If I'm Shannon, I would be like, so you don't want to be Stephen A.? Like,
right. Well, think about how many white people Steve Stout has worked with to achieve the success that he had.
Right.
You know, from the Leo Cohens to the presidents of Universal to, I remember he was working with Jimmy Iovine at one point. Like, he's been shoulder to shoulder with lots of people that were not his own race. He's made many millions of dollars.
How do you think I know him? I'm hanging with Ben White.
Yeah, he's Jewish. Yeah.
Jewish. Like people don't talk this through or have the energy to really battle these conversations. I don't know why I do, but I do. So when I respect Steve Stout. Shit. I'm a hip-hop fan, so I was like, this dude is making business deals still to this day. Yeah. But don't lie on that one. Don't pander on that one. Like, don't work with Skip. Keyshawn working with Skip, he fine. Keyshawn black. Right. See, you know what it is? I swear in our community, it seems like, but maybe it's at large. People scared to lose their black card. Like, my black card says expires never. If I like skateboarding and you say that's white, it's now black because my black ass doing it. It's rock and roll. I remember I got teased for liking Van Halen when I was growing up. Might as well jump, Panama. Yeah. People like, oh, you acting white. I'm like, what? Because I don't like rap only? Shut up. And so I start doing that stuff. And I'm like, you're not going to limit me, bro. You're not going to border me into some tight little lane so I can show I'm black and down. Working with Skip, Lil Wayne ain't black. Working with Skip, Richard Sherman ain't black. Like, now I know he said don't work with him or they shouldn't, but why? Skip put on literally the #1 sports media guy we got going right now. I would say it is Stephen A. if it ain't Shannon, who's now working with him too as well. So I ain't really get down with that.
Well, you actually played against Shannon Sharp.
That's it.
How's that?
He was a man. He was a country strong man. Dog. Caught him at the wrong time, too. That's when they won their back-to-back Super Bowls, like 97, 98. Man, I remember being on the field. And I'm like, this is Shannon Sharp. And he yoked now. What do you think he looked like when he was playing?
Monster.
And so I'm like, okay. I'm not intimidated any of that. I'm big, fast, strong, too. But I'm young. I'm like a rookie, second year. And I'm trying everything in my bag, but my bag is small, right? Like a little Gucci purse. Like it ain't man purse. It ain't it. And I'm trying to hit him. And one play, after dragging me, he basically like, hey man, don't get down. This game about M&Ms. Go back, huddle, come back, next play. I punch him. He grabbed my arm and do this elbow lock, and so they don't call holding, but he got me. He's like, M&Ms, money and memories. Don't trip. You gonna be good, young man. He out here sonning and daddying me. and then you think you really gonna get him. And that's when Denver was running that zone read and the zone blocking. All they do is run at your head and just dive. Knees gone. And then you get up. Terrell Davis just ran by you. And he was just giggling. And you know Shannon talk. That shit was hilarious. He sunned the hell out of me. So I always got salute for him. No matter if I come at somebody, because I'm built like this. If I say something bad about you, I'm only talking about it, not you. But a lot of people don't take it that way. And I'm like, well, fuck them. Because if you take it that way, you show me you ain't graduated to maturity. Y'all can talk about me. Dare you, though, because I don't be bullshitting. That's why they don't talk back, because they be like, yeah, Wiley gonna go all the way. Like, I got a case against me, and I'm like, fuck that case, let's talk. Because that case is BS.
Right.
Straight up. I'm sorry I'm built that way, but my grandma did that to me.
Well, Shannon had the big interview with Cat Williams.
Oh, silly sick.
People always accuse me of hating because...
Do you?
Well, I did a couple of interviews, because Shannon Sharp put it out there where he basically claimed that he made like $6 million off that one interview. And I said, as someone who's been on YouTube longer than everybody, those numbers aren't adding up.
Okay, what you think? What you think it really was?
Off of YouTube alone, maybe about $500,000.
Half?
About half.
For 60-some million views?
Yeah.
What about all the cut-ups?
About $500,000.
I swear.
That's a lot of money.
I'm betting north for that. Because I know.
Maybe $1 million. Listen, I do around 50 million views a month on my channel.
You do 50 million?
Yes.
What's your CPM, though?
Pretty good.
You see, you don't want to do the math.
Pretty
see,
good.
This is different.
No.
Say the damn number so we can get there.
No, but I know how much I make every month. And yes, I know it's a full interview. There's multiple ads, but there's a lot of full interviews every month. So I know it's nowhere near that amount. Are you going
to come with the number so I could just make this?
It's nowhere near that amount.
I think it's north. If we on Price is Right, I'm betting.
Okay, so if it's $1 million, that's not $6 million.
It's not.
Like the numbers just don't add up and people think I'm hating. I'm not hating.
You can end it conversation by telling the CPM towards how much you get for millions of views. And you know, I've seen 5 to 12 per million, right? And if he did 60, that's 3 million. And if he did what, 12, that's 7.2. You saying no.
Your numbers are off. So if you do 50 million, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, divided by 1,000, because CPM is based on 1,000, right?
Yeah. But I know the number at $1 million.
So that's 50,000. If you're talking about a $5, $6 CPM, which is typical on YouTube, let's just put 6, that's $300,000.
No.
Yes.
Vlad, 60 million views. Yes. And you get, let's say, we know this, like let's say 5 CPM. That's $5,000.
No. It's $5 for every 1,000 views.
And 5,000 per million. We the same place.
Right.
And you say that's only 300,000?
So 5,000 per million. So take 5,000, multiply by 30. To multiply by 60.
60.
What's that number?
Is that 300,000 or 3 million?
300,000.
Good. Now, that's just the long form. He cut that. How many cuts he put in there? 10, 20?
There's some cuts in there. What I'm saying is you add it all together, it doesn't add up to $6 million. That's all I'm saying.
I said
the number is high. The number is high. He's the one to put it out there. I'm not hating. I'm just saying the numbers are high.
I think your number's low. That's all I'm saying.
If my number's low, his number is way. The number is closer to my number than his number. I'll put it like that.
What was your number again? 500?
I said about 500,000. You see where that number comes from after we did the math?
I know. I just think he could have got.
Now, there is sponsorships and there's other stuff. And he put out how many followers. There's a big graphic where he put out how many new followers he had. So maybe he's saying,
real.
oh, well, maybe these followers are worth this amount of money also. So you could throw some soft numbers to pad it up. I'm just saying, congratulations on a big interview. The numbers don't quite add up to what you're saying. But congratulations on a big interview.
And I will say, without deep intel, but using you as an example, using me, what I know, and what he said, the numbers between y'all, and it is 500 or 6 million. Vlad. I'm really like in the middle. You know, what was the dude? Kevin Samuel said, don't say 1 to 10 and don't say 7. I'm like close to that. I think it's not 6, according to our math right now.
Yes.
But it ain't 500,000. Don't do that.
Listen, congratulations on a big interview.
What's your biggest interview in numbers, you think? Oh, you know.
I mean, I had an interview with Michael Franzese that I think maybe got 4 million views by itself. Yeah, I don't do the 50, 60 million numbers, but only a few people in history have ever done that because I think he beat out a Joe Rogan interview with the UFO guy.
I know.
So, you're dealing with big things. And look, at the end of the day, nothing will give views like conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
You got a very well-known guy who's making up a whole bunch of stuff about other very well-known people, and they're all responding.
Yep.
That is a formula for a lot of views.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If I got Tom Cruise to sit on my show and bash Steven Spielberg and Samuel Jackson and Brad Pitt, and they all responded to him, and he's claiming that they all offered to give him blowjobs, and they're all gay and wear dresses, and they all respond and deny it, and all their fans are checking to see what the hell Tom Cruise is saying on VladTV. It would be a similar amount of views.
Oh no!
So listen, it's a great. That's
the formula.
It's a great formula for success.
That's the formula. That's the 777. We get it.
That's the
I don't even do interviews, and I know that means I'm suppressed.
Yes,
because I don't even do interviews because I don't want to hear nobody bullshit. Like for real. I may get into it, but I'm not going to interview you and let you bullshit. And people do not. I don't want to undermine your brand. I know you want to get out of here and not have smoke, so we're not going to talk. Yeah. Because if we do, we going there or we go nowhere. So I'm under you like in potential.
Yeah.
Because you got a different formula. You got names up here, and then he got a whole different formula. Somebody opened up the Uzi right on his show.
No, man, listen. And I applaud him for what he's pulled off. I think it ultimately helps everybody. One thing I don't like about Shannon, me and him have actually, because he agreed to do my show back in the day, and then I got the runaround, talk to my PR person, whatever else. That's cool. You don't have to do VladTV. But the one thing that I don't like about Shannon is that he has all these people coming to his show, but he doesn't do anybody else's shows.
Oh. Is that real?
Have you ever seen him get interviewed by someone else?
But
that kind of rubs me the wrong way because it should be a system where we're all helping each other out. I've always said this, and you could see it in my actions. If you come to VladTV and you have your own podcast, I will do your show.
Mm-hmm. I get
Academics, Charlemagne, Math Hoffa, even if it's not a big show, if you came and did my show, I will do your show.
Good. You're doing my show because it's not a big show.
Let's do it. 100%.
No.
100%.
But you're doing what you did before, which is obligating somebody to be as nice as you, Vlad, be as good as you, Vlad. And maybe that's your blind spot because that's a beautiful thing. And me and you in the same spot.
That's cool.
But just like what happened with Stephen A. All of a sudden I need a clearance. And Shannon is killing it right now. Maybe he'll need something from you. Yep. But it always finds its way. Water finds its level. Just keep swimming. Shit.
There you go. Do you believe that Cat Williams could run as fast as he claimed as a professional athlete?
Yeah. That sucker ran, I don't know what that time was. And one of them I saw a 4.9. One was a 4.6. In jeans at his age, I mean, he just looked fast before. Like all his skits when he used to perform, that little dude got his quick twitch muscles. I was like, Cat be moving. So
they're saying he ran a 4.97.
Yeah, that's the last one. I saw another one I thought. But point being, 4.9 to 4.3, you got to be a different person. But he's a different person. Now he's, 50? And if he's in shape at 20-something, 4.3 is stretching it. Is we going back to that 6 million Shannon number. But I think he gets closer to that than 4'9", obviously. Faster than my ass. I could tell you that.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. 30-year age difference between the two. 57 on Mike, 27 on Jake. Who you got?
I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to give it power.
Jake Paul, huh?
I don't have him. I just know from sports, I know through our physical dynamic that 30 years, me now, I'm almost 50, versus me at 20. Same dude. This is as objective as you get. Them young muscles, they different than them old man. Like, I'm watching Mike Tyson do the bags. Power like a mug.
Yeah.
You can there's a micro frame of difference between what he used to be in his head and on the bags and what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing somebody in their 50s hitting bags. He'll whoop my ass. But somebody who can really fight in their 20s, before you even, like, you winding up because your body and the signals are slowing down. This shit, if they don't rig it, if they not just going strictly entertainment, I think they're going to let them both come out of there victorious is the goal. Like, let them both get it in, but don't let nobody lose, because Tyson shouldn't lose for his legacy, and Jake Paul shouldn't lose because his shit's captivating. Say what y'all want. People watch that stuff, and it's exciting. But anybody who's getting at it, that's like me now trying to go to the NFL. Hell no. But now the WNFL, I wreck. But the NFL?
Well, they have the lingerie league. I think that's the WNFL.
I'm married. I can't play.
Can't
I'm
play.
exempt.
I wouldn't want to see you in the lingerie league, please.
But yeah, I'm just scared. Like, everybody I know is like, they don't want to say it. I'm like, 30 years out the game on that level, and we saw him coming down the hill when he was still in the game. That's tough, man.
No, look, I interviewed, Evander Holyfield. And the one thing that I think that Jake Paul needs to get over is the fact that he's fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
The psychological aspect. And I remember that's what Holyfield said. He said, when I got in that ring, I had to show Mike right away that I wasn't scared of him. Because I wasn't.
Yeah.
And once he figured that out, it became a totally different fight than what he was used to.
Mike used to knock everybody out. So, it was kind of like, but he had his own sparring partner that he knocked out every day. He had people come in there and he'd knock them out. And so Mike and I, we both on the losing squad. So we on the losing squad and stuff like that. So this is the reason why I realized all the things that he could do, because he did it so well. He was an expert in rope, expert and hitting the bag. Everything that he did great.
Yeah.
And I sit there and I was kind of watch, and I said, wow, man, he's good. But in the game of boxing, it's about what you can do to a person to get them to move, to capitalize on which way they're gonna move. But Mike was all one of the fighters who charge at you all the time.
Yeah.
And what I had that a lot of people didn't have, I had good rhythm and good movement. So I can pop back and make you run into my shots. I had fast hands and like this and what I had too, I had this thing where that I wasn't afraid of nobody.
Yeah.
Because he's used to just scaring people.
Yep.
And look, I interviewed Tyson before. He got mad at me during the interview.
Same here.
I was scared.
Same
I was
thing.
scared.
Oh, ESPN.
Yes, I was.
Because I was talking shit.
I was definitely scared, yeah. I had a question that went a little over the line, and he looked like he was going to lunge at me. So I was scared. But, and you're used to growing up and seeing this man come in 30 seconds, knocking the guy out. And
the mystique.
Real. That's what made him the greatest fighter of our era.
Yeah.
We're too young to really appreciate Muhammad Ali.
Right.
Tyson was our
Ali.
Boxer, was our Ali, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure Jake Paul remembers that as well to a certain degree, even though he's a little bit younger, but he knows the legend of him. But if he's not scared of Tyson, it could be a very ugly fight.
Yeah, easier said than done. I think he gets in there. He got to go full throttle to show he's not scared. But Mike also has to understand that muscle that he used to flex and intimidation better not be plan A. Because if that's plan A, then you're going to have to rely on plan B, which is your physical skills and your technique still. And as sharp as it may be at your age, it shouldn't be as sharp as somebody who's still really at it. Not if you professional. I'm talking, Jake Paul's a professional fighter now.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all laugh as y'all want. You can train your ass up to being somebody that could kick somebody's ass. And I think Jake Paul is committed and dedicated himself to a point where he'll whoop all of our butts, and now he's trying to go after the invincible one. That's Mike.
Right. And it's interesting because I had Rashard Mendenhall on my show recently. And what he told me kind of blew my mind. He said 26 is past your prime in football.
So I feel like back in the day, you were given a chance to mature as a running back. Now it's like you want somebody younger. You want somebody, quicker, faster, right away. So I just felt like I would have been in a situation where I'm holding on for dear life as a running back as well. So those two things together, felt like it was time to leave. I don't know what it's going to be for me, but I'm pretty sure I'll be devalued anyway. It was just time.
I mean, it's crazy that a 26-year-old is saying that there's younger guys that the team is more interested in. You're 26.
Yeah, you got it.
26. Yeah. No other career in the real world are you saying that. I mean, even strippers at 26 are still at their prime.
They still going.
You know what I'm
for real. For sure.
They're not worried about the 18-year-olds.
No, for real. They still
at
going.
26, they're still getting their money.
Yeah, they're grown women body.
In football at 26, you're feeling over the hill. That's just wild when I hear you say that.
Yeah. 6 years in the league, that'll do it. So, so you're considered, considered an older RB.
Nah, I disagree with that. But I know what he's trying to say.
What's the number then?
Past your prime?
Yeah, in football.
Skill position player, 33, 34.
Oh, that old. Okay.
Let me tell you why. Howie Long said it best. When you get into the league, your mental elevator is down here. Your physical elevator is up here. You are 21, 22, six-pack deep, have a triple bacon cheeseburger classic combo, and still the six-pack ain't moving. Now, if I have 3 potato chips, my stomach goes this big, right? At this age, but you're here physically and you're here mentally. Prime is not just physical. It's you learning the game, you studying your craft, you honed your craft, and your skills kind of start to not diminish, but just not ascend anymore. Howie Long said it best. When those two elevators at the same place, that's your prime. I think that's usually 26. Now you ride that you ain't losing anything physically, maybe even improving, but slightly. But mentally, you growing, you get it. Everything's slowing down. So I don't believe 26. You can still be balling at 26.
But does it depend on the position, though? He was a running back.
You're getting hit a lot.
Yeah.
There's 27, 28, 29-year-old great running backs, but to his point, he basically saying, I'm getting taxed.
Yeah.
And the way I'm spending this money and this tax, I'm going to run out soon.
Right.
26 is around that.
because he quit relatively early. He walked away from the game.
He did.
And he doesn't regret it. It worked out well for him.
No.
He became a writer on Ballers and, everything else like that. But, I mean, because it was funny because when he said that, I'm like, damn, strippers aren't at their prime at 26. They got a few more years to go. You telling me a professional football player is at their prime at 26?
Different demands on the body, let's just say. Man, stripping hard, dog. Just looking at him like that pole got hurt. No, hell no, dog. How much? I got to know how much you tipping before I...
My knees kind of hurt.
Hell no. All these dudes, and you good-looking dude, me good-looking dude, whatever we are, we 7s, 8s. It's some 1s walking in there. It's some 2s. It's some bellies like this. Come here. Oh, hell no, dog. Stripping prime shouldn't be anything. Like, we need to create a government fund so strippers ain't got to do that shit with them 1s and 2s, bro. There's some bad-looking dudes out there.
Well, I interviewed Michael Vick, and one of the greats.
What?
One of the absolute greats. And it was really an honor to interview him. What was interesting, though, at one point, we talked about all the losses he took because of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And having a large entourage and giving his friends money. And he was still adamant to this day that he doesn't regret any of it. And he justified it by saying, hey, if you found $20 million in his back room, you wouldn't split it with your friends? And I'm like, well, that's not what happened, though. you didn't find the money. You sacrificed and worked your way up to this position. And your friends were just around.
Yeah.
And your friends sent you to prison and made you go bankrupt.
You got a crew. He
yeah,
got a crew.
but I don't financially support him, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, back you 20 years old, it might have been different. You had a couple $1 million. You might look at it different. You know what I'm saying? You and your boys, y'all had it lit. It's like walking in that back room and you broke and you find $20 million and you found it. They was outside. You ain't gonna give them nothing. You're not gonna give him a dime. You got a kids and he trying to get an apartment. You're not gonna help him when you got a pocket full of money.
It's a tough situation.
No, it's not a tough situation. I don't think it's a tough situation.
I've dealt with it. I've dealt with friends, and it's always.
I don't think it's tough.
It's always they're your best friends until the one time you tell them no.
That's the truth.
Luckily, you were the very rare person that managed to get it all back.
Yeah.
But very much the exception.
Yeah, let me guess here. Because I think we're misusing the word friend in this context. I think Michael Vick fell victim to all of that because of the subculture. And look, I played with guys who were cockfighting. And they thought nothing was wrong with it. Because nothing was wrong with it where they did it.
Yeah.
His friends, first of all, it was Vick mania. Like, especially in Atlanta. It was the only time I ever went to a Nike town and they had a whole section for a football player. Now, I mean, like a whole area. It was Vick town.
Oh, yeah, no, he was on the cover of Madden.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a big deal.
Yeah, so his friends go along on the ride with him to success. All along this ride, no one is saying what they're doing is wrong from where they're from, for what they've always done, which is dogfight. And they dogfight in LA, they dogfight everywhere, but that's a subculture that you better keep it. Like any human being, we all got our issues, our skeletons. You gotta know where to bury them, right? And I think that because of his name, his success, and then all of a sudden that gets out, which is terrible, but it was something that was almost like, this is part of who I am. This is part of what I am. His friends are not obligated to change that for him because he couldn't even address it and acknowledge that it was bad. Let's get to this point. Because people are like, yeah, right, Wiley, fuck that. You on some bullshit. Remember when Adrian Peterson got in trouble for spanking his kid? Now, he spanked him now. You ain't supposed to go that hard, but he spanked him. And he got the condemnation of, you're not supposed to hit a kid, child protection services, all that. Because at times, culture shifts. And they shift swiftly on him. That dogfighting thing, man, you know what I mean? If they really, and I'm not going to out no names, Michael Vick wasn't by himself. Cats were doing that. Cats were cockfighting. Cats were doing all kind of stuff that where they from, that's what we do. And I was like, you better be glad they didn't find out. So when he got caught, he fell for all those around him. More than his friends putting him in it, he fell for all of them and everybody else because the culture winds kind of shifted fast.
Yeah, I just feel that.
What are you supposed to do? Like, seriously, if you were his homie, you're supposed to say, Vic, stop doing that. Doing what? What are we doing? Like, there were places you could do it. Now, he went, I don't know why they had a farm and all that, like next level. Like, he should have went in, went out, wherever they do that at. And I'm not justifying it because I don't want the animal rights people to be like, oh, Marcellus. I'm not saying that. I'm saying people cockfight. People dogfight. That was a thing. My teammate invited me in Dallas. I'm like, I don't want to see no dogs fight.
Yeah, I know.
You know, go to Venice Beach if you turn around the corner.
Yeah, I'm a dog lover. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel you.
But that was me. But all I'm saying is it wasn't the friends. I think it was just, that's where he was.
But to me, it seemed like a bigger issue because I remember I brought up Allen Iverson, who he grew up with, who was a couple years older, same hometown, everything. And I remember seeing Allen out in Miami and he'd have like 20 guys with him.
Yeah.
I interviewed Andre Rison. Same situation. 20 guys. He's paying all their plane tickets, all their hotels, all their food. He's taking them shopping. He's buying the drinks at the club. Like they're his children. And then Andre goes broke.
Yeah.
You know, Allen Iverson has had money problems, tax problems over the years.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Vick luckily was able to turn around, but he went bankrupt.
Yeah.
He went bankrupt. To be that big and go bankrupt is insane.
Yeah.
Is insane. And the thing is like, these entourages and, Mike Tyson, same kind of thing. You'd have these armies of people around him. He'd be buying them Bentleys and whatever else.
I'm with you.
And then...
I don't do entourages.
I don't do entourages.
No.
I do employees and family. And that's it.
Right.
You're my family or my employee. Other than that, I'm not paying for you. If you're my friend, I might buy you a meal every so often if I know you ain't got it like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking you on trips constantly and paying for you and just so I could feel good having my friends around. Because, I don't know if you know the story, but one of the guys who was around during the dogfighting thing, I think he might have even been his cousin, and I think he snitched on him. At one point, after he got out, Vick had a 30th birthday party, and that guy showed up when he shouldn't have, and he ended up getting shot.
Damn.
Like outside the club.
No.
Now Mike Vick didn't shoot him, but this is what I'm talking about, the craziness of having these entourages and people around you. And
but the conversation for me shifted. If you would have just led with entourages, fuck that. That's dumb. Because all you're doing is magnifying your problems because everyone's going to bring their own set.
Right.
Like, look, I got $1 and you got a nickel. Okay, so I got $1 worth of problems. That's it. But if I got 10 dudes with 10 and they all got a nickel, now I got $1.50. I literally almost doubled my problems, right? And that's what it is. Like, because they got idle time. They don't have the investment. They ain't work for it. They don't understand how hard it is to go get it again. None of that. So I remember there was a couple hanger-ons for me, and I was about to get an entourage just because I was hanging with you, and the other. Wait a minute, it's too many dudes. So now, back then, even then, I was just like, dog, I don't want all these dudes around me. I want to move in silence. I want to be my own security. I don't have any problems with anybody. I'm big as shit. If you really want to see, you're going to find out, but I'm not fighting. I'm just going to think my way through this shit. And I don't need your problems to be mine, especially when it's on my dime. That's crazy.
Listen, I interviewed French Montana, and we talked about a few instances, but the one that stood out was there was a shooting on his tour bus, and a guy actually got killed.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, what happened? He said, a friend of a friend. A friend decided to bring a friend, and that friend had his own set of problems, and you don't know, and they got their own beef. Next thing you know, tour bus getting shot up over someone who he doesn't even know directly.
Yeah.
This type of shit happens all the time. And I know what it's like.
All the time.
Listen, like you have a certain amount of power and people want to be around you because they want to experience the parties and the girls and the the glamour and the Hollywood and the music and all that kind of stuff. But usually their only skill set is beating people up. You know what I mean? Like, so-and-so talk shit about you, I'll punch him in the face. That's how I'm going to earn my role here.
Right.
None of them, it's not like what LeBron did. LeBron actually sent his guys to college and training, and they became key members of his team. Yeah. Not because they were his friends, was because they actually needed to perform.
Incorporate them.
All those guys were like Mike Vick dogfighters. I'm sure LeBron would have kicked them all to the curb and gone with professional management and agents and everything else like that. But those guys actually performed.
Yeah.
If you have people around you who aren't performing, it's gonna come back on you.
Oh yeah, because you are the crowds you're keeping. So I'm with that. Like I knew that early in my career. Like I ain't letting all these dudes just ride with me because it's pretty riding with me. It's dope riding with me. I'm like, I did this shit.
Yeah.
So like y'all ain't adding to it. All right, meet me at the club. Okay. At the club, I got the table. I get that. First of all, I'm not gonna stress you. I know how much they just paid me. Them checks, and back in them days, I'm making like $6-7 million. This is 20-some years ago. So I'm like, I got it. You my boy. This ain't a money conversation. That's why you ain't gonna ever get me off of just money. Oh, you gonna lose money or else. I'm like, or else what? Like, take the money. I throw it at you. Now what? However, you ain't gonna come fuck up my life, dog. I paid for that table. All right? You had all that fun. You were the man that night. Whatever you got from that night, go with it. If you need a loan or something, let's talk. You ain't gonna give it back. But whatever, you got a business, let's talk through it. Send me the business plan. You won't. But the point is, I got you. We going to dinner. I'm not going to the restaurant you can afford. You're going to the one I can.
Right.
For free.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
But don't bring no problems. No problems, brother. I don't want to hear what hood you from. I don't want to know who you beefing with. All that shit gonna stop, or we gonna stop. Because it's too hard to make it from it. And I don't need I don't need no card. I don't need no hood pass. I don't need no black card. I don't need none of that fake shit. I need to just be me, a husband, and got kids and a daddy, and party out with my boys and go back home and do it again. Like, all this other shit is extra. People die over this stuff and they think it's cute until it ain't.
Last question. So I interviewed Antonio Brown recently.
How'd that go?
Went pretty well, actually.
AB is the dude, but
went pretty well.
He go in that.
We had, it was funny because we had 2 interviews that completely fell apart.
Okay, see, that's why I asked.
Completely fall apart.
I know AB.
But this one actually came together, and he sat and we did the whole life story piece, and he answered everything and everything else like that. He claims that the NFL buys players' brains after they die because they don't want the CTE info to come out.
He got receipts or he just said it?
Sounds like he was just saying it.
If you ever pass out, the NFL buy your brain. They tell nobody. They buy your brain.
Really?
Of course. They got
the NFL buys your brain after you die.
Yes, but literally, if you...
I had no idea.
Exactly. And no one have no idea.
Yo, that's
This
wild.
is that, yeah, exactly, because then they do a study. It's like, yo.
And they keep that private.
Of course they keep that.
All right, I see the hustle.
Yeah, so it's like, because think about it. If we play a football game, every guy could say they got something wrong with their brain when they're done playing because they've been smashed so much. So if the NFL don't have to pay guys for the rest of their life of a disability, head injury, where they make up, oh, hey, man, these guys died from this and this was the reason, but they have something to blame it on, so there's no disability settlement.
Yeah.
Okay, sound like
Have you ever heard of this as a former NFL player?
I mean, I don't know where to attack this, but it sounds like empty words. Look, it lands well with the suspicion that people have about the NFL protecting its players. So that's why you can say something like that. But I lost a teammate to CTE, Junior Seau. The NFL didn't buy his brain.
Did you know? Because he ended up killing himself, right? Didn't he? And he killed. Did he kill someone else or just himself?
No, just himself.
Just himself.
Shot himself in the heart to protect his brain.
Yeah.
Protect loosely, but just to preserve his brain. So
remember, I think he was like abusive with like his girlfriend or something like that. Or
I didn't hear that. Like, my thing was Junior was the light of the room. I just think it was life got too heavy for Junior because he always said yes. My theory, and I always tell people this, and I don't speak out of turn when I say this, he literally was the nicest person I ever met. But that's weird because when you the man, Junior Seau, Oceanside, USC, San Diego Chargers for most of his career, you in the same locale basically for 35 years. And his background was Samoan, he got family, his family like, yeah. It was so heavy, so he always said yes, yes, yes. Teammates, we walk into his restaurant, he comping everything. We trying to pay for it, he comping it. I think when he got to the point where he couldn't say yes to everything, he'd rather get out of this life than to have to start to say no and make those harder choices. But I don't believe that the NFL is doing all that. Like, people stupid. It's the same thing that happened with me with Columbia. Columbia don't give that much about Marcellus Wiley to leverage and risk all of these billions for that one player. Make sure that those accusations get hidden. Like, the NFL is making so much money, $100 million for one broadcast of one game on a Friday. You think they gonna say, hey, make sure you cover your tracks, but buy the brains?
Well, to be fair, CTE could bring it all down.
Talk to me. Well, look, the NFL certainly took a blind eye to it earlier.
If there is clear medical evidence that cannot be disputed, that essentially everyone who plays the sport ends up getting messed up permanently.
Okay, that's vague.
There is, and I'm not talking about our lifetime, I'm talking about 100, 200 years down the line.
Okay.
But the NFL is thinking about that right now.
Of course, as it
They're
should.
thinking about, this is an organization that will go past our lifetime.
Yeah,
this is not just a player or a team.
Right.
Players and teams come and go.
Yeah, talk to me.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Supersonics are gone.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? They may come back, they may not, but whatever.
I feel you.
I'm just saying that at some point, listen, Aaron Hernandez, there was a lot of noise over what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they try to change the helmets. I remember one of the things with, Antonio was that he didn't want to wear the new helmets.
Well,
because he liked his helmet, but his helmet was no longer considered safe.
Helmets weren't helmets weren't used to protect you from brain injuries. They were used to protect you from skull fractures. So when they first went from leather to these harder helmets, it was because people were dying because their skulls were getting fractured. Now, the helmet tries its best to mitigate the impact of what can happen in a concussion, but it never, listen people, never will get rid of concussions, which contributes to CTE. But let me finish this sentence. CTE only exposed when you're dead. In every case that I have seen of CTE, it is a pre-existing condition before death that ignites, that catches on to circumstances in your life of despair. Whatever's going on in your life, basically is my theory, this is my $5 doctor theory, is going to trigger your CTE. Now, you blame the CTE. Okay. NFL is thinking this is just a branding exercise because the line to be in the NFL goes around the globe. So you saying it's going to go away? Never. You have fewer parents signing up for tackle football. Like me, my son plays flag.
Yeah, no, you said yourself that you won't let your kids play Pop Warner.
Nope.
You yourself played Pop Warner.
Yes.
But you don't want your kids to mimic what you went through because you're worried about their health.
No.
Right?
No.
You're not worried about their health.
Of course. Not only and not in priority. You know what happened? I got to the NFL. I met Drew Brees, met Antonio Gates. One guy didn't even play college football. One guy played flag growing up. And I was like, it's another way up here? Oh, you ain't got to take all them hits to get there. My son in high school, 9th grade, he still loves football. I said, we going to your favorite restaurant. We stay in there 3 hours like this interview, and we going to talk. I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to show you these fingers. I'm going to show you how it feels. I'm going to tell you how it feels. You still want to play football. And if you tap out, I don't hold it against you. If you want to go, I fully support you either way. But the NFL knows, look, we're not getting rid of brain injuries for football. You ain't get rid of it in soccer. You ain't getting rid of anything there's head impact.
It's a different game. You can't compare the amount of damage you take in soccer that you take in.
There are stats that say soccer is more dangerous to your brain impact because of those headers. That's why they banned headers in soccer for youth. They ain't banned no hitting nobody as a youth. California trying to ban tackle football for kids. But this is my point. It's a messaging exercise. Cool. If you really want to keep it simple.
No, listen, you're the expert. I'm speaking from the outside. You know, for example, I've interviewed Warren Sapp a couple times. Yeah. He feels that he definitely has CTE. He says he has to write things down sometimes so he doesn't forget them.
Oh, really? My grandma did too.
But she's not
grandma
as old.
Didn't know where the keys were. Grandma. Where the remote at?
She was right there. As old as Warren Sapp, though.
Dude, stop.
She was much older. She was much older.
All right, this is an important point. Everybody's neighbor is worse than an NFL player. Can y'all stop? They're more violent. They in worse condition. Like, stop this shit. Like, y'all act like the doctor's office ain't full of just normal-ass people who didn't play in the NFL broke down.
Okay.
Like, y'all know how the game really is. Come on, man. Don't be trying to put this all on the league and on the players and the awards.
I feel you. I feel you. I'm just saying, though, as the world is becoming less violent and softer and cancel culture and, you know, the tides of the public and, look, you could just look at in our lifetime. You can't do an Eddie Murphy delirious stand-up in 2024. You can't use the F word and all the gay jokes and anything else like that.
You can for me. And Dave Chappelle comes as close as you can.
But he doesn't go as far as what Eddie did. Nope. He does not. He does not.
Transgender stuff is pretty racist.
No, it's different.
Bill Burr's a mother.
I'm just saying.
I love him.
Like,
we need that.
You could say the F word in movies, shows, music, whatever else, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
These days, people care a lot more.
Hell yeah.
There was no transgender rights back then. Now there is. No, there was no transgenders playing women's sports back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now it's a thing. Like the world changes, the world evolves, and certain things that were perfectly normal.
Yeah.
In the 70s and the 80s, in the 2020s, is considered unacceptable.
You're right.
And that's okay. The world evolves. And at some point, they're going to look at, and it might even happen in boxing. They may say, listen, boxing without headgear is just not going to be legal anymore in America.
They're going to look like the amateurs out there?
It's going to look like the amateurs.
And that's
I don't want to see it.
No, me either.
They may have to do it out in like Saudi Arabia where they don't give a shit about human rights. You know what I'm saying?
Here you go. You better stop that. Saudi Arabia, they're progressive now. They're trying to pay their way back into the future.
And it's working.
And it's working, right?
Here's all the big golfers are over there. The fights are now happening over there. I'm just saying that
big funds.
The world becomes softer and more sensitive and more cuddly. And certain, barbaric activities, which are considered totally normal, which I like to watch as well.
Barbaric activities.
Because it is somewhat barbaric. I mean, listen, man, being a lineman, that's a hard fucking job.
Look,
isn't it though?
It's a symphony.
Isn't it though?
It's a symphony.
Would you want to be a lineman?
I didn't want to be a football player. So I want to play basketball. I wasn't good enough. Shit. It's a symphony of violence. But there is a way to orchestrate it. There's a way to do it where, look, they gave me, I don't know how many millions, and this is the worst. This is the worst. My back a little sore, the hip a little tight. Huh? And I love doing it. Stop playing with me. Now, there's things I love more, and of course, I don't want to die on the field, but I will say this. Stop saying that this world is softer now. That ain't right, because you're a part of this world too. You softer? No. You know what it is?
I think
You know what it is?
I think that I have to
What?
Watch my mouth a lot more than I used to.
You scared. Damn, I ain't know.
I think I have to watch my mouth a lot more.
Lost for that.
I have to. Yeah, man. Listen, you can't be.
Let me say
the same person you were in the 80s.
Yes, you can, and that's the problem. You think you can't, so you ain't. Here's the thing: what we have now witnessed is not that we softer, is that those who don't want it, don't like it, can share and now have a community. Social media has empowered people. But they ain't changed them in terms of what I care about. So when you were growing up, your neighbor was soft. But he only was soft at home, and then daddy and mama, if they were there, was like, boy, you better stop. So he tucked it in. But he was soft. And now he can stay in that same room. Mama and daddy don't know, and they ain't yelling at him, stay hard. And he hit his boy next door. You soft too? Me too. You soft too? Me too. Now they got a group of soft. It's the same shit. It's just now we know. Because when I played, we only had newspapers and one TV show talking about football, it felt like. Now, in the middle of the play, somebody tweeting, look at this fool. And it's viral, right? We didn't communicate what we all were thinking and feeling back then. We are now. But that doesn't mean we different. It just means now we can share it.
Well, no, I mean, look.
I ain't soft.
During your time, you can get a concussion and go right back in the game.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't do that anymore.
That ain't soft. That was legislation. That was them getting taxed.
It is soft to a certain degree.
No, it's not. They got taxed.
Back then, dudes were a lot more hardcore. I don't give a fuck if I got a bruise on my brain. Put me back in, coach. Okay, go in. You want to play, go ahead and play. Now, it's illegal to do that, right?
That don't mean it's softer. It means I do not want to spend any more millions because y'all got me in narrative. NFL took too long to address CTE. When I played, I never heard the term. When I retired in 06, 07, I never heard of CTE. All of a sudden, we got this issue, brain injuries. Okay, CTE. Ooh, you guys took too long. You knew it then. Okay, what's the settlements? We paying it. Now, we're going to change the rules. Changing the rules don't mean that the players are softer. It means you just can't do as much.
The game itself is softer, not the players. The game itself. You don't think there's a lot more penalties and fouls being called in the NFL now?
I think we are two ships going the same way, but different ships. I'm saying the player is still hitting.
No, I get that part.
He just can't hit the same places.
But the game has gotten more cautious, more softer, however you want to.
You keep putting it on the people,
careful.
and I keep putting it on the game. That's
the game. Yeah, that's fine. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay,
Game. No, I'm not saying the people. No. The people.
Well, you did say it earlier.
Okay, my bad. What I meant is the game itself.
Okay.
The game itself is a lot more
and
softer.
I hope it gets softer so my son can play it if he's good enough. I want this shit to be powder puff and they make $100 million.
Yeah.
If we can get there, if we can make this game non-violent and we still love it the same, that's utopia.
Yeah.
But they ain't gonna do that because we want to see somebody get smacked. And guess what? We still see people get smacked. It just is not with the same frequency and not the same place. You ain't knocking nobody in their head consistently.
Well,
you can't.
I mean, I think that part of the reason why boxing is not what it was back in the 80s and 90s is that all the really great athletes found easier ways to make money.
Yes.
Why would I get in the ring and get punched in the head over and over again, end up all fucked up by the end of my career? And I've interviewed, I'm not going to say who, but I've interviewed a lot of the heavyweights. They don't talk the same.
No, they
into
all
their
punch
50s
drunk.
and 60s.
They are.
They're all punch drunk.
They're punch
You know,
drunk.
like Floyd Mayweather's the only one that you could say made hundreds of millions, is still perfectly lucid, and is ultra rich and is living his life and everything else like that. You look at the heavyweights?
Oh, man.
No. I think a lot of these guys who would have been heavyweight world champions are like, nah, I'm going to play football instead. I'm going to play basketball instead. I'm going to find something a little bit safer because it's also, the money's a little bit more guaranteed with these teams than trying to work my way up, you know.
That's real.
The boxing, levels.
Remember I told you the top of the athletic pyramid is basketball? Every single athlete wanted to do that. The bottom of the pyramid is boxing, and UFC right there. But what changes them, what's boxing suffering from, UFC is kind of thriving in, is the fact that UFC as a business is better ran than boxing. They messed it up with all the belts. They lost their athletes to the NFL. So the NFL in the 70s wasn't what it is now. But in the 80s, you start seeing, hey, the NFL could be all right? Redskins and the Cowboys and stuff.
Right.
In the 90s, and you're like, that's all right. So then a 6'4", 280 dude like me, if I'm born and I'm in my prime in the 70s, I'm trying to be heavyweight champion of the world. Right. I lose 20, 30 pounds and go get it. Where's Ali? Now I'm an 80s baby, 90s baby. Guess what I'm trying to do? Play DN. Because I'm like, that's where the incentives are because the business is better there. But the business is best basketball because you don't have to get taxed and you're going to get paid. Then baseball's right by there with football because, you're going to get you're going to be on the road all your life in baseball. You're going to get your ass hit hard in football, but you're getting paid, bruh. All they got to do, like you said, is make boxing either more incentives in terms of pay me more or fix that business. If not, it's going to keep going down.
That's what it is. Marcellus Wiley, man. Been too long since our last one. Been way too long, man.
All right, sign this $100,000 you said. You said you gave OJ almost.
You want that same 100,000?
No, I don't.
Hey, man, go dig up OJ, We'll see where that gets us.
Respect the dead, man. You better stop. Love, brother.
No, man, listen, shout out to OJ. I never met him, man. At the end of the day,
respect.
He was an incredible athlete. And he broke a lot of the barriers in terms of athletes doing movies and commercials and everything else like that.
Yeah, and for black people, too. Remember, they wasn't giving those to athletes, or especially a black one. And he was like, I'll take both of those and go get it. Yeah,
and he ran with it, man. And, listen, he ultimately was found not guilty, whether you agree with it or not.
Right.
He managed to keep whatever money he needed to keep. You got to give him props for that.
I can't
man, rest in peace, OJ. Not a lot of people are saying it, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah, I don't care who it is. I don't know if I'm built just way different. You dead, that's dead. Like, it's just, like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Rest in peace,
That's
man.
true. That's what it is. Marcel, till next time.
My dog.
Peace.